you done?
You said.
What have you done?
Well, you know.
Wow.
You're on now.
What a way to start, ladies and gentlemen. What a way to start. Well, you might as well do your job now. Hello and welcome to the Nerdies 2018 live from Talk Nerdy HQ, where, if you've never watched this before, it's an award show where we look back at the year that was 2018 and what a year. Had loads of random stuff happen in the nerd world. For instance, Kylie Jenner said no one was snapping anymore, but she obviously didn't watch Infinity War.
Oh shit, son!
Oh, yeah. Not only that, Lando Calrissian and Han Solo was revealed to have had sex with a robot before all the Star Wars stuff happened, which, to be honest, explains why Han Solo was annoyed at him taking the Millennium Falcon.
Oh,
Because she got inside her twice a day and took her to heaven and back. Woof!
Jesus Christ!
You may be wondering who we are if you've never watched before. I'm JB. I'm the host with the most. And with me tonight is my movie mogul for Talk Nerdy to Me and general squirrel botherer and lover of Land Before Time, Gaz Masters.
I watched it again at Christmas. You know, it is the best Christmas movie.
It's not a Christmas movie.
It's not got Santa in it. It's not got snowflakes in it. Well, it's got a leaf flake.
A leaf flake.
That is true.
So that's as close as I can get it to Christmas. But it's always on around Christmas. Can't deny that. And, you know, I think it's the best Christmas film because of that.
And to my left is special guest Dan Morrison. Dan, hello.
I think you'll find on Tommy Wiseau.
Tommy Wiseau tonight. Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi.
Nice doggy.
So, if you want to, you can interact with us. Gaz, have you got the interactions going right now?
I mean, you've given this job to probably the worst person.
Give it here.
Possibly.
So, Gaz is attempting to, for some reason, go on there. So we go on the comments. Oh, hold on. That's why. Hold on. There we go. We'll get rid of that. So there you go, guys.
Right, it is not a Christmas movie.
There you go.
What? Who said that?
Right, so we've got a few things lined up tonight. You can see them all possibly behind me. You may not be able to because of the screen. Stuff like Best Hero, Nerdy Icon, Worst Movie, Best Movie. The list goes on. How many people... Is anyone with us at the moment?
We've
Want to
got
say hi?
some people. We've already got some people. Adam Disley already commenting on our production value. Thanks, mate.
Oh, thank you.
Fairness, 5 out of 7's better than we deserve.
Well, yeah, I think
Oh,
so.
you know what? You know what? I forgot.
Oh,
I forgot the party
I
cannon.
didn't give you enough time, did I, before I ruined everything?
Hey!
We're
That was not
official-
as violent as I thought it was
we're
going to be.
official- How's that for production, lad? So, anyway.
Minimum 6 out of 7 now. Come on.
Right. Oh, have we got enough watching? Should we go straight into the
I don't
first...
actually...
Oh, by the way, before I forget...
Have we all shared? Do we all,
But
I've
yeah,
done
2
yours.
things before I start. 1, we're going to do Best Comic is going to be decided by you. Not us, you. So during the course of the show, if you go over to Twitter, we've tweeted what's the best comic. Just reply. Whatever gets the most hits wins. So Immortal Hulk was out this year. Oh my God. Doomsday Clock was out. All sorts has been available. Really good comics. But I want you to tell us what the best comic of 2018 was. Second of all, share this video right now. It really helps us. It's the one thing we ask you to do. You're not paying for this. We're entertaining you for completely nothing. All we want you to do is that little button on the bottom right. Press share. Just share. Don't have to post anything. Just share it out so more people see it. Maybe one of your mates who doesn't know about this goes, oh, holy shit, those guys are funny. I'm going to fucking watch.
He's got a fucking problem if he thinks we're funny, in fact.
So we're going to talk about all sorts. There's a few rules. And actually, I'm going to need one of you chaps to get your phone out.
Oh shit.
So my phone is here.
Your phone, right. So can you set a timer, Gary? This is how it goes. We set a time period of how long we can talk about a certain topic. Before that time runs out, we have to have decided a winner. If we haven't decided by the time the 10 minutes is up, we have to decide at that 10-minute point, or we turn to you to tell us who won. You will know when the timer is done, because the Talk Nerdy cock will hoot. Oh, hold on. Has it gone off?
I proper love the Talk Nerdy cock, by the way. I mean, I didn't even know that was coming. What's happened?
I don't know.
Right, so we're live on this one now.
We're all live.
Right. So do
All
I need
good again now?
I need to share that one
All
again.
good again. Sound again. Really sorry. Producer Casey, can you obviously message us if stuff like that happens? You're good at that. We'll just wait for people to get back on. I'll try and let me get back in.
Oh, shut it.
You get in, lad.
You get in. Right.
This is still more professional than giving La La.
So I'll just go over that again because I think you missed that. When the 10 minutes is up, you'll know because the Talk Nerdy cock appears. So, oh god, I'm a bit. I don't know why, but whatever. Let's just crack on with the first topic tonight, which is
What is it?
best trailer.
Oh, shit, son.
Best trailer.
Oh, good answer.
Okay, so the nominations are. I have to find mine. Hold on. Best trailer. Deadpool 2.
Deadpool 2.
Is this best trailer?
Best trailer.
Bad Times at the El Royale.
Okay,
Fair enough.
fair enough. Gaz, or someone, start that timer. This is.
Okay.
Can you start that
So-
timer?
Yeah, I can.
Wow.
10 minutes, right?
Well,
Okay.
I want to start by actually. Mine and yours are the same. Gaz, I didn't even see a trailer
I
for this,
didn't.
so.
Well, this is probably. I think it's the best trailer. Like, I saw this trailer and instantly went, fucking hell, I can't wait for this movie. Now, obviously, you're not going to get that reaction because you've not seen a trailer. I don't know how you avoided it.
I didn't avoid it. You know, it's my job to watch trailers. It's just, it's. That is. I've been to see films. It's not appeared.
It was one of the trailers. It was one of. You know what I'm like about trailers. Usually, I usually am a bit like, oh, I don't see the point in them. It never really does a lot for me because, like, I think if I want to go, like, certainly, especially with ones like Deadpool and usually, like, say, the Infinity Wars one that's come recently. You're going to go and watch him anyway. What is the point in the trailer? I get why they make him, because obviously it's hype and it's making sure people know it's coming out and when. But a lot of the time for me, like, the whole point of a trailer should be, I didn't even know this movie existed, and now I cannot wait to watch this movie. And Bad Times at the El Royale, it did that. It looked amazing. Like, from the minute I first saw a glimpse of this movie, I thought, fuck, this is right up my street. And it was just shot to perfection. It had great music in it. It looked like, and I know you don't like Tarantino,
No.
but it looked like a Tarantino-style movie, but like for the modern age. And from the minute I seen it, I was like, I am watching that 100%. As soon as it comes out, I'm there.
Right, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, or whatever the fuck it's called, was not the best trailer, because the best trailer was Deadpool 2. And I'll tell you why. Deadpool 2's trailer wasn't even finished, and they made a joke out of it. They made a joke out of Superman by making him have the big green arm. They made an entire puppet scene with Sheriff Deadpool and everything. It was, and then it just showed loads of random shots. And it had me. It didn't show any story whatsoever. It didn't even show some parts from the. In fact, how much that trailer was the film when you think about it?
Very little, yeah.
It had me. We all went. That's the best trailer. We know Deadpool is great at marketing. The team behind Deadpool are great at marketing. And I remember showing you that trailer. You liked it. I did not hear you once talk about that trailer. You're talking about Dan.
Okay.
Hit him. Get on.
My Deadpool 2 trailer is a different Deadpool 2 trailer.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of a trailer, more of a promotion, but I'm casting it as a trailer.
Okay.
Did any of you see the Bob Ross
Oh.
Deadpool?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. I remember the Bob Ross one.
Oh my god. Just it made
Do you know why I'm
it
going to
made me
concede this?
Absolutely.
Oh, he's conceded already.
And I know, I get, it's not necessarily that the trailers were better,
They were.
They were more self-aware. They
but
took the
there was,
piss out of
it
the
was the
trailers.
marketing campaign as a whole for Deadpool 2 was fucking genius.
Well, you got other
Because it was the different, like, obviously,
all
what
the
you
other
said, the
DVD
Bob
covers
Ross
as well.
one, and there was obviously the normal trailer, and it wasn't a more like that where it was just like, almost like, it wasn't necessarily a trailer, it was just a joke almost.
Yeah, there was like marketing
Promotion.
ones.
And I thought, like, the actual marketing campaign for Deadpool 2, and it doesn't need it.
Oh,
Do you get
no.
what I mean? Like, Deadpool 1
everyone's
was
gonna go
good
see it.
enough and funny enough that you knew what you were going to get out of a Deadpool 2, but then almost, like, they just felt like they just had to give us extra.
Yeah.
And I like that. Like, this is my biggest thing with trailers, is the fact that sometimes it shows clips of what's in the film anyway. Why do I want to see that? I'd rather just watch
I
the
agree,
film.
I'd rather see less
Right.
of the film as possible.
So, because of what you just said about the Bob Ross thing, well, you're not seeing anything in the movie. It's just like,
yeah, it's literally
it's just a standalone. By the way, Deadpool 2's coming. Thanks
Yeah.
very much.
And then at the end of that promotion, there's literally, I think it's like 5 seconds, something like that, where it's just screen grabs
Yeah.
from the film. So it gives absolutely nothing away. You don't go, oh, I know what that movie is now. I don't need to watch it. You just, it just entices you to
So,
watch it more.
are we conceding, officially conceding?
I'm gonna. Well. I'm
Is-
gonna
is
have to,
the
aren't
cop
I?
gonna-
I've got no choice.
Yes!
You can't. Let's face it, right? I'm on my own. I'm the only one who's seen my one.
That's the problem of being a C movie mogul. You're like,
Yeah.
I like this Spanish art film. No, I mean,
So I'm willing to concede. I thought the marketing campaign as a whole for Deadpool 2 was genius.
It was.
Like, to be fair, they just got it bang on. They, as you say, they didn't give anything away. It was just standalone, like little snippets of, like, here's some extra Deadpool for you. More movies should take that example, I
Yeah.
think, and just say, right, we don't need to put anything that's actually in the movie. Let's just do a separate thing. Why is that not
It's
already a concept?
It's a lot easier with Deadpool.
I mean,
I get
I know,
that.
yeah.
There's no
I know,
fourth
like
wall
obviously,
there.
the film that I brought forward, Bad Times at El Royale. No one knows what it is anyway, so it's not like you can just suddenly go, "Oh, we're just going to have an extra 5 minutes of nothing."
I would
But
don't.
what the only thing I would say is, like, I remember when Stranger Things was brand new, and what they did was they just played 5 minutes of the first episode.
Did they?
Yeah, that was the first thing you would have seen. Well, I mean, probably anyway.
Mm.
Was that it was like an introduction to Stranger Things. It was 5 minutes of the first episode, and it just gripped you.
In fairness,
So why not do more stuff like that?
I don't want
Yeah.
to see the first 5 minutes of a film.
No, because think
No, but-
about it, right? That's something completely new. The concept is brand new, and obviously, all of a sudden, you're going, "What the fuck's this? When can I get this?" And then suddenly, there's that hype already, and you're like, "Oh, I know I'm gonna watch the same 5 minutes, but now I want the rest of it."
Okay,
Yeah,
well, but this could go totally wrong. So, for instance, if you did the first 5 minutes of Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, that is not the film.
No, but think
No,
at the end
oh.
of Venom, the after credit scene
Mm.
was just a 5-minute segment from Into the Spider-Verse, and that made me want to watch it.
True, however,
It wasn't the first 5 minutes.
No, it wasn't the first 5 minutes. Chris, who you might be wondering where Chris is this year. Well, Thanos snapped his fingers and he's disappeared from reality. I'm afraid he was one of the chosen ones. No, Chris, we love you. If you're out there, join the party, dude.
You've been replaced.
I forgot my original point. What was I saying? Oh, Spider-Verse. So Chris actually did not want to watch those 5 minutes because he had seen the trailer and was like, I have no reason to see any more. And I think if it had been the other way around, if they'd shown him 5 minutes, he's the kind of person, I'm kind of like him as well. I go, well, there's 5 minutes of the movie where I know what's going to happen, and it's ruined
Yeah,
for
but
me.
if it's right at the
What?
start, do you not think you'd live past
I
that?
feel this is an episode, a podcast in itself.
We've already gone past the 10
Yeah,
minutes.
we've already. What, Gaz? Please turn to the good people in Facebook land and tell us what did they put as their best trailer.
Okay,
I
so
think I saw.
we've not had that many nominations come
I
in,
saw Katie
oddly.
put Detective
Katie
Pikachu.
put Detective Pikachu.
That isn't a bad shout.
That.
It's not a bad shout.
Oh.
Yeah, that freaked you out.
I really, I don't know what to make of that film.
Having
And
witnessed your
oddly,
face.
it links in quite well to Deadpool because it's Ryan Reynolds. But the only thing I heard in that trailer was Deadpool. It felt
Okay,
like
yeah.
a joke.
Yeah,
The old
it
way.
did.
It felt like Deadpool was just going to come out and go, "Hey, I'm doing Pikachu now."
Faceless Ryan Reynolds, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
it,
just
enough of it
it
with
did feel
Deadpool.
like that. So
Again.
for me, I didn't like that trailer. I thought they should have gone completely left field with Pikachu and made like maybe some like up and coming like stand up comic, maybe first voice actor thing. I think that might have worked, but hey,
Anything else?
No.
No. So
That's fine.
the winner was of the best trailer is Deadpool 2. More for me to clean up. Anyway, next we go to obviously worst trailer of 2018, and the nominations are. When I find mine, Aquaman. Yeah.
Hellboy.
Right.
This
This is
is interesting.
interesting.
I just put every teaser trailer there has ever been.
Fuck you. Right.
Right. Well, should we talk about people who are taking this seriously?
Yeah, people
Shall we?
take this seriously. Well, I'm gonna put my argument forward first. The reason Aquaman is the worst trailer of 2018
Alright.
is because that trailer did not make me want to see that film, and since watching that film, it's nothing like that trailer. That trailer just made it look it is cheesy, but it made it look like bad cheese. It had scenes in which aren't in the film, like where he's swimming with dolphins or something, like jumping out of the water.
Yeah.
It made that first scene with the kid and the shark, when he's a kid with the shark, it made that look like pandered on. It came off really bad, and then the ending of it, it's like, redheads, and then he jumps out the plane and goes, woo! It just didn't do the film any justice. I dreaded seeing this film, and if you listen to our review, I freaking loved it. I thought it was great. So that's why I personally think that. Go on, you.
I actually agree with you. In fairness, I do agree that the trailer of Aquaman was cheesy. I've still not yet seen Aquaman. I need to go and see it.
Right.
So I can't comment on how different it is to the movie. But
You might have to speak louder. Just
Oh yeah,
saying it.
sorry. I'll speak up a little bit. I will agree. It wasn't an amazing trailer, Aquaman. However, Hellboy, for me,
Mm.
I watched it and all I thought was, it's not the original, is it? It's just not right. I felt they took a very different direction to obviously the original Hellboy movies, and in my opinion, kind of from what I've read anyway, I've not read all the Hellboy comics, but from what I've read, it seemed a little bit like they're going in a different direction.
Mm.
Which I kind of get that, with all the sort of edgy superhero movies coming out, like Deadpool and things like that, where they're not afraid to comment on their own
Self-awareness.
strange- Yeah, they're self-aware and they can comment on, this is fucking weird what we're doing right now, but we need to do it. When I finished the Hellboy trailer, I just went, I don't want to watch that movie. All that made me want to do was watch the original, not this movie.
You see, for
I
me,
completely agree with him.
right?
Because we've talked about this.
We did talk about this, but my argument about that Hellboy trailer is they just chose the wrong music. They put something like, was it Motown or something over it?
I don't think the
That was
music.
one of the main
That,
things for
yeah,
me.
I'm telling you now, if you recut that same, put the trailer exactly the same, and played like some old like 9 Inch Nails over it, it would have given a totally different tone, and it would have fucking been awesome. But it was almost like they were trying to latch onto the Deadpool, Deadpool dollar, dollar. And I get where you're coming from, but I still think the trailer was great. I am on the fence about the film. Because, like you said, it's like in Van Command, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
But we have to get past this, otherwise we'll never have a Hellboy. If we have this attitude, we'll never have, another Batman or another Joker, another Penguin. If you're not Danny DeVito, we've got to get past this. Give it a chance. I'm telling you, the music was the worst. If you get out the music, what did you not like about it?
I didn't like the look of Hellboy.
You see, here's the thing. I looked at Hellboy and I went, if I glanced at him, I wouldn't be able to tell it wasn't Ron.
Mm-hmm.
But when he spoke, I went, that's not Hellboy's voice.
You want the real grizzled.
Yeah, I want he's from fucking hell. His vocal cords have been fucking scorched. It's not Dickhead from Stranger Things. It's ridiculous. I mean, when he spoke, I went, oh, he has a sidekick's voice. That was my
but
issue.
is this more? Are you now critiquing the film, not the trailer?
That is a point, in fairness, yeah. But I still want to see the film. But none of my wanting to see the film has come from the trailer.
Gaz, can you not back me up?
I'm stronger than he feels about this then, because I would have thought I would have wanted to. I quite like, obviously, the original Hellboys.
Oh, I do.
Like, obviously, this is in a land of like before Marvel came along and started revolutionising comic book films into the best films that basically come out every year now, right? So you're talking about before then, and Hellboy was boss. Do you know what I mean? They were big boss films that everyone likes.
Thank you, sweet.
And I thought, I'm going to love Hellboy. It's coming back. It's the guy from Stranger Things. I'm loving Stranger Things.
Exactly.
How can that not work? Do you know what I mean? And I watched this trailer and went, shit.
Joe, the other thing as well is I'd seen online that he's been doing like loads of work to try and like get his body to Hellboy standards.
Yeah.
So like when you look at Hellboy in the original, like he's not like shredded, but he's bulk.
He's
Do you know what I mean?
he's dad
like-
bod. He's more dad bod, I'd
Yeah,
say.
he's quite dad bod because he's let himself go. He's not that arsed and stuff like that.
He's
But
got this giant fist. He can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Well, exactly. But like when watching the new one, I just kind of went, he looks unimpressive. That was my thing, and I know.
Does he
that-
look like cosplay more than
Yeah,
anything?
he looks like Adam Savage's cosplay of Hellboy. But like, I get that you can say, okay, that's the film's fault, not the trailer. But I think the trailer should have spotted that on the offset and gone, okay, something's wrong here.
All I would say right now is, whereas I kind of agree with you, but I have argue back to you. What have you got to say about mine though? You've both agreed with me. It did not sell that film whatsoever, and you've seen Aquaman
But I didn't
now.
want to watch Aquaman anyway.
But we're not. But the
I
trailer.
did,
So,
not because of the
I
trailer.
did want to watch Hellboy, and the trailer made me not want to watch Hellboy.
But how did the trailer make you feel for Aquaman?
Nah.
Like every other DC film
It
that
made, me
comes
feel,
out.
it made me feel exactly the same way I feel about Hellboy. And when I think about it, it makes me feel... But I would still... they made me feel pretty much the same, but at the end of the day,
I'm
I'd
not
still
gonna
rather
lie.
go see
I'm not gonna
Aquaman.
lie. If you two aren't moving, so I'm kind of lost anyway. But
Sorry.
when you said Hellboy, it did remind me that I am excited for this film, but I took the trailer as being a bad trailer. I said that to someone else. I think it was Field Mouse from Nerdcult Underground. What up? He said he wasn't looking forward to it, and I went, dude, it's just a bad trailer. The film still could be great, and Aquaman, I just thought it's a bad trailer. I didn't think the film was going to be good, but I get what you mean, and I think I wasn't expecting much for Aquaman, and I was expecting so much for Hellboy, and like I said, if they change the music, but I'll call that now. So the worst
I
trailer.
didn't even get to say mine.
Well, yours doesn't count, Gary.
You changed your answer to
You
my
changed
answer.
one, you changed your
That's
answer,
true.
and two, you just said every
Well,
teaser trailer
well,
ever. And again,
I want to hear
that's
what everyone else's worst trailer was.
All right,
Alright,
what
okay,
everyone
okay,
else's worst
okay.
trailer was.
So, like, come on, guys. Right, let's give us some feedback first off.
Who won best
Right,
trailer
Very
again?
nice having you with us.
Deadpool.
Let's have some like comments. You know, like what your worst trailer was, what your best trailer was. Let's get it flowing in. Woody Woodpecker reboot. Is
What?
that a
Actually,
thing?
Peter Rabbit.
Peter
Oh,
Rabbit.
that's a good shout.
That is a good shout.
That's a
in
very.
fairness.
Who put
So,
Peter Rabbit?
We've got Liam on with us.
Who
Liam
put-
David.
Oh,
I should say some
Hello.
hellos, shouldn't I?
Say some hellos, but who said Peter
Danny
Rabbit?
Dugan's with us. We've got
Who is?
Becky Argues with us. We've got Jennifer Bibby with us. We've got Jay Mowie with us. We've got Adam May with us. We've got
Did you say
Becca
Danny
Elizabeth
Dugan?
with us. We've got Stuart Dixon with us. We've got Vicky McCarthy, Chris Wakefield, Ash Bowker. There's more. There's producer Katie. Liz is
Producer
always on
Katie?
it. Producer Katie is like
Great.
the hero of
Love you,
Talk
producer
Nerdies.
Katie.
She's
No,
always
right.
here.
So Peter Rabbit. Who said Peter Rabbit? Because
Yeah, Nash, hello, sister.
that's
no.
great. I'm totally with you. If you were here right now, you probably would have won with Peter Rabbit. I totally forgot about that pile of garbage.
I haven't
James
seen
Corden
it.
as Peter Rabbit.
James Corden. Do you know what the annoying thing is? I actually don't mind James Corden. I know a lot of people dislike
No, I don't
him.
mind him, but I don't
But
want to
as
see him
Peter
act.
Rabbit, his voice is not his strong. I mean, let's face it, he's not a strong suit anyway. But his voice without his body sounds weird.
Yeah, it does.
His voice coming out of anything other than his mouth looks weird.
I
and
think it's the same with
unsettling.
me.
I seem to remember
You
watching.
know, imagine my
maybe.
voice. Imagine my voice coming out of like I don't know a cartoon crocodile. It wouldn't work.
I don't know. I'd watch that.
Right.
We've also got Mary Poppins films been mentioned.
I didn't think it was bad. I think that was a good trailer. Because I wasn't because I wasn't excited. But I'll tell you why that's a good trailer when it just goes Dick Van Dyke and there's Dick Van Dyke. I was like, yeah, you know what? Fuck you.
I couldn't watch that trailer mainly because my girlfriend was going no over it, and I was going.
Were you having sex?
No. She's watching.
Hello to Sam Lynch.
Hi, Jazz.
Who's just joined us.
What's Jazz saying?
Well, anyway,
agreed.
Worst trailer of 2018 officially is Hellboy. Did anything come out of
I
that?
don't know.
It did, but
Where
it just
did you
shot
buy
up the
these
boy.
party poppers? Are these from like?
Asda, mate.
Oh, mate, you've been had.
Hellboy.
There's like literally note in there.
Right, Hellboy's written down. Right, next up is this was an interesting one.
And make sure you send in your thing so we can talk about it.
Yeah,
as well.
post your things. Also, in case you've only just joined us, we are deciding best comic, but by you. So go over to our Twitter page. It's at TalkNerdyUK. I've tweeted what's the best comic of 2018. Just reply, and at the end we'll have a look at what's replied the most. Simple as that. Anyway, getting back, we are now going to do best TV show. Woo! Woo! So the nominations for best TV show are Titans.
Oh, really? Disenchantment.
Oh, go on.
I'm not saying anything about that one, but I've gone for Wild Wild Country,
Right,
which
okay.
is a documentary series, so I know I'm lost.
Fucking hell. Right. I want you to start because this
Me?
is no, not you. Fuck you. With your fucking,
You with your fucking
I want Dan to start this one because to say best TV show and say Disenchantment to me is like saying best. I don't know. Best person at speaking with a British accent and saying Stephen Hawking. It doesn't. It's not. it's not. That's not right at all. Go on. Why is that?
Okay, here's my main point about this. Right. Okay. One, I picked Disenchantment because I've watched it very recently. Me and Jazz watched it together, and I actually, the first time I watched it, I watched 4 episodes of it, and I went, oh shit, this is like.
So far, you sound like me.
Yeah, it's it's all right. I'm struggling with it, but it's all right. But then I watched it a second time, and I went, this is actually good. Like I'm absolutely like I'm having no problems with this. I'm really enjoying it. And then I remembered exactly how Futurama was received when it was new.
Right.
And I was like,
oh,
right, okay, Futurama, arguably one of the greatest animated TV series of all time, got cancelled after its 4th season.
It is. But I found Futurama funny instantaneously and clever. This Disenchantment is the worst work he's ever done.
I'm not denying that.
I'm
not denying
You said it's the best.
Considering he's only done 3 things.
It's just he's.
And 2 of them were The Simpsons and Futurama. Of course, it's going to be the worst thing he's ever done.
It's the worst thing he's ever done because it was so jarringly bad. The jokes were just really basic. Like I'd expect these jokes from his first series in the 90s, but not in 2018 when he's got years of experience in comedy on him. He made Dave Berry not funny. I don't know how he did that, but Dave Berry just wasn't funny. That cat, Elfie the elf, Elfo, right? Instantly terrible character. He starts off being a grumpy elf who doesn't want to live in a land of fun. That sounds like a great concept. And then leaves and becomes a normal elf. His character just changed. It was stupid. The only good thing out of that was a little demon. The demon was the only clever.
Oh, Eric Andre, is it?
Is it Eric Andre?
Yeah.
He's the only good thing. Titans, the reason that's the best TV show is because everyone for all year slammed it. Everyone said, she looks like a prostitute. Robin looks stupid. Oh, he says, fuck Batman in the trailer. Oh, that sounds like why. Fuck Batman, everything. Have you watched that? It's amazing. It's so dark. I mean, there's people getting stabbed in the balls with scissors.
Oh, shit, son.
There's like, really, they've gone like with some, I'm not going to, other rule about this, we try not to spoil stuff unless absolutely necessary. We try not to spoil stuff. But I'm not going to spoil anything. But there is some real a mixture of DC characters in it. It's not just the Titans. There's tons, and I was like going, oh, holy shit. Oh, holy shit, they're in it. Oh my god, this has not been mentioned at all. It was more, what's the word? It was more consistent than any of the Netflix Marvel shows, because some of the Netflix Marvel shows will have a cliffhanger. Well, not anymore. Rest in peace. A cliffhanger, and then they'll pad out the middle with some storyline and dialogue, and then they end on a cliffhanger, so you have to watch the next one.
I agree.
This didn't have that. It was all the way through. Events are happening. Stuff is happening. Characters are developing. It's great, and I'm really gutted that it's over. I honestly, I had no expectation for it, and it was better than Daredevil season 3, which I'm really wondering why the fuck you didn't recommend that, and you recommended, what was it, Wild Wild West, the musical?
Wild Wild Country it was called. Right, now, all I'm going to say is...
He's had a whiskey.
I'm not drunk yet. Right.
In fairness, he's been drinking whiskey out of fucking bits.
Which is
an ice cream bowl.
But,
you flake.
Oh, fuck.
Right.
Oh, shit.
I haven't seen yours
You fucking wafer.
before anything, so I can't comment on it.
Fair dues.
But I really didn't like the look of it.
That's my point.
So
I didn't.
I get you're saying, oh, did anyone actually watch this? Well, obviously not enough people thought the hype was real, because otherwise everyone would be like, fucking hell, watch this thing, mate. Do you get what I mean?
But it's not released over here yet. I've watched it via Naughty Means. It's on the DC streaming service. And
It is naughty.
It is naughty. It is now available on Netflix for you all to watch. So after this, go and watch the first episode. And I'm telling you now, you'll watch it all. It'll be, next thing you know, it's 6 in the morning and you've lost 8 hours.
So, the only other thing I'm going to say, and I can discount yours, because if there was a worst TV show award, I would be giving it to Disenchantment, because I hated it. I literally hated it. I couldn't stand it. Now, I like The Simpsons. I don't like Futurama.
Oh, you fucking...
What?
There you go. It's out there. I don't like Futurama. I thought...
You ever see body language is like 90% of how we speak?
I didn't like it personally. I think there's episodes that are okay, but I don't think it's anywhere near The Simpsons.
You're nowhere near The Simpsons.
Did you watch it all the way through? Did you watch it to the end?
No, I just picked episodes.
Which
here and
Disenchantment
there.
or Futurama?
Disenchantment, sorry.
Oh, sorry, I was talking about Futurama.
Oh, sorry.
Disenchantment, I watched one episode, so that's what I'm basing it on. And the first episode made me switch it off.
Oh, in fact, the first episode's not amazing. The last, 5 episodes are fucking fantastic. They're really good. They get into deep, you find out what happened to her mum. Things get explained. A main character gets fucking killed at the end. Permanently, as far as we can see. It's fucking good. My other 2 choices, because I was torn between 3, and I picked Disenchantment because it's special to me and my girlfriend.
Okay.
But just because we've watched it recently, it's nice. It's like the 3rd time I've mentioned it.
Oh, Disenchantment!
I'm like fucking Ned from
That's
Try Guys.
never going to win you a
I
Nerdy
am
award.
Ned from Try Guys, my wife. But no, but the other 2 that I was going to pick were Final Space, which me and Jazz also watched the other day, which was fucking phenomenal.
Which one was Final Space?
David Tennant's the bad guy in it, and it's animated.
Oh no! Oh, I remember that one. I watched 4 episodes of that, and I didn't laugh once. It's brilliantly animated. I loved watching it, but I had to mute it because it was just horrible.
I loved it.
The jokes
It
were
was so
awful. The character is more annoying than Ricky Gervais's office character.
Oh yeah, that's the point.
Yeah, but it's not funny. It's annoying.
He gets lovable as the series goes on.
No, he does not. Anyway, what was the other one?
The other
Right,
one was
okay,
Altered
before...
Carbon.
Altered Car. Oh, me and you can never watch telly together. Oh god.
All 3 were Netflix
Altered
shows
Carbon.
as well.
Yeah, Altered Carbon again was really nice to watch,
I
but
remember this.
I didn't enjoy it. I
I thought
it had some good
Altered
concepts.
Carbon, oddly enough, it seemed really hyped up. Before I went in to watch it.
I watched it because it just appeared at the top.
Yeah,
and
I remember seeing
big flag in
people,
it, so I watched
when
it.
you're scrolling
Big
down your
flag, it
Facebook
is.
and stuff like that, and you see shows sometimes. Like You is the one at the moment that
Everyone's going about.
And
Everyone's
there's
talking
always these
about
shows
You.
that come around, and I thought Altered Carbon was like one of those where I saw people watching it and going, I don't get it though. I gave it like a good 4 or 5 episodes to get going, and it just never got going.
It honestly sounds like what I'd be into. You know what I mean? Like a guy who is in another body than what he was in, has to be a detective to find out the death of someone who is now alive because of. Is it again this body thing?
Yeah,
is there any time travel involved as well? Is there anything like that?
No, there is, but not like traditional time travel. There's big gaps of like 100 years. The idea is that your consciousness, your soul or whatever,
can be put in another body.
Is contained within a microchip thing, which replaces one of your vertebrae in your neck.
I liked
that
it.
Gets taken out. It's called a stack, and it can be put into another person.
See, I liked that idea, but it just didn't work for me.
One of the greatest thing about it for me was it's set in a world where it's like it's like France in the 1700s. It's like, unless you are the richest of the rich, you're fucked, basically.
Yeah.
So there's a case of if you get killed, say you fall and you get hit by a train, but your stack is fine, right? You're fine. They will take your stack and they will put it in somebody who got their stack taken off them because they were breaking the law.
Yeah, yeah.
And that stack will be put in prison. But there's a scene in the first episode where a 6-year-old
girl
has been killed and she gets put in a 50-year-old man's body. Immediately, I went, this show is
that was genius. No, I did like that.
This.
I thought that was good. I found myself going, meh. Like, nothing was happening, really. Like, oh, I've been killed, but now I'm alive. I want to find out who killed me. Meh. I would just want. I don't know. It just didn't grip me. But okay, can I just point out? It's not yours. I still don't even know. I don't even know what yours.
We can't dispute it then,
I don't know what yours
before
is.
I go on to mine, I'm just going to go over a few of the audience. Right?
Okay.
So we've had Daredevil.
That was nearly mine, but it had episode 2 or 3 was crap, and it made me panic. And then from episode 4, it was like brutal as fuck. But episode 3 was crap.
We've had Riot. I don't remember.
Riot.
Right,
we've had
someone been watching the Paramore album.
Something called Dark, which again is not something that
people
I'm
just like
with.
putting words.
Oh, Dark.
We have had someone come in, Adam Disley, you pure beast, you saying Wild Wild Country was boss.
Oh, shit, he's been backed up.
I've been backed up.
Shit.
Sabrina is getting a lot of love.
Again, Sabrina, I nearly put.
I just haven't watched
I didn't even watch Sabrina.
I nearly put. I
The
nearly
thing
did.
is so many people are going on about Sabrina, and I haven't actually watched it yet. I feel like I'm doing a disservice.
You are.
Because it's one of those where I feel like I need to watch it to kind of see, and I've been put off because we watched a snippet of the
I've watched
Sabrina,
it all, mate.
You've watched the series?
I've watched it all.
Well, you talk about it.
Well, I was gonna.
I'm leaving him there trying to fucking float water.
Oh, Sabrina, she's a kind of girl who can do a bit of magic.
Obviously, my biggest thing with Sabrina, the old series, was how outdated I found
Salem.
it. And I like that this is a new take.
Honestly, Sabrina, again, it would be in the running for this. The only reason I didn't pick it was it's got the same watchability and likability for me as Good Place. I like it on. I like watching it. I do care about what's going on, and when one ends, I want to watch another. But there was something about Titans where I didn't want to watch another. I needed to watch another. You don't get that from Sabrina. You want to watch another. Oh, there's another one. Yeah, I'll watch that. You don't need to watch another. Okay. But I totally good shout.
Okay, so we've also had Cars in the Car Park. Again, that's not one that I'm familiar with. Sorry, Jay.
Hold on, was that Jay Murray?
Yeah.
No, that's an inside joke. That is a 10-year-old, 12-year-old joke, or whatever. Nice. Another
one for Daredevil and Sabrina. We've had Gotham.
You skipped past my girlfriend supporting me.
Oh yeah, sorry. Jasmine Dunstan has said it's great. I assume she meant about Disenchantment.
So it's we've been backed up.
Because no one's watched Titans, but I'm telling you right now, you're gonna be watching Titans this month, and everyone's gonna be talking about it.
I am gonna go home and watch Titans.
Ash has also said that you know, the fact that I don't like Futurama, I assume anyway,
Yeah.
is the same as the fact that I didn't like cheese
Right.
until my early 20s.
That is a good point.
That is a fair point, Ash. Well done.
Right.
Well
What
played.
are we? What?
Santa Clarita Diet has been put as the best.
Oh,
That's
I didn't want to watch
weird.
that because cannibalism really knocked me sick.
Yeah, that is what it is. Yeah.
Was Altered Carbon based on a comic book or something?
It's based on a sci-fi novel.
There we go. Someone said
it's a
that's why
trilogy
it
of
was so
sci-fi
hype.
novels.
Right.
Killing Eve. Someone's mentioned.
Killing Eve was
Oh,
great.
My dad said that was really.
That was
good.
really great, but I kind of, it's almost like the same as The Bodyguard. There were these really intense BBC dramas, but I don't think it deserved a nerdy. I know it sounds weird, but I kind of think it was really good, but I give more points to making a comic book show or a sci-fi as interesting as essentially a mainstream murder drama, crime drama. I mean, can we just, me and you, Gary, can we agree that Disenchantment is not winning this award?
Disenchantment is definitely not winning
Right.
this award.
So it's out of me.
So-
It's out of me or you. And,
Alright, so I obviously am going to struggle because I haven't watched yours.
and I haven't watched yours.
Exactly. Now mine was right up my street. It's a documentary series. Think Making a Murderer, but think a 60s psychedelic cult.
Right.
We're
Was-
talking like Manson Cult.
It
Oh, we're
kind
talking
of
like-
starts going that way. It starts off really genuine, basically. So it's set in like I think about the 60s, 70s, something like that.
Yeah.
And it's basically, you know, one of these like Maharishi. You're obviously very familiar with Maharishi, and it's one of these gurus who like obviously speaks about how we should live, and it's about this group who come together, try to build a community that is all about like, you know, how we should live on the land, and they take over this town basically. The town are just like some town in America, like southern redneck kind
You've
of
lost
town.
Dan, by the way. But go on.
Oh
No,
just-
but, like,
my-
obviously-
my girlfriend's not happy that Disenchantment didn't win. I'm joking.
They are effectively just like bullying this town. Like they're gonna be the town now because they've bought all the houses. They've built their own community. They literally just buy land and build this new city. And all of these people flock from all over America and all over the world and just move to this little town somewhere in America, and they build their own city.
Is this
like,
a real
community.
thing then?
Yes.
Sounds
This
like
is-
a plot to Paper Town.
Right.
Yeah.
And it sounds really far-fetched, and then eventually it starts like twisting because this town start and the government start like basically going against them so much, they start playing dirty tactics back, and the people that are in charge of the community start doing things that they shouldn't do, and it
I
ends
might
up.
watch this.
Oh mate, it is brilliant. This
Sorry,
for me
I'm sorry,
is
I might
exactly
watch that.
why I pay my Netflix subscription, because they like I've been very critical of Netflix lately because I think you've got your Making a Murderer and you've got your House of Cards and stuff like that, but there hasn't been a series for a while that I thought everyone was just like, whoa, what is this? I think Wild Wild Country was that. I just don't think enough people watched it.
I'm interested,
It is so interesting.
but I still firmly believe that
Hi Sam.
Titans was this year's Daredevil.
Hi Becky.
Titans was the, you know, when Daredevil first came out, Titans is that. That's how strong it is. I feel that your Wild Wild Country may be like a Making a Murderer style kind of thing, but may I remind you that when Making a Murderer came out, it did not even get nominated for Best TV Show by us. What won instead was it? When did Making a Murderer come out? Was that last year
Yeah,
or the year
it was
before?
The year
The
before.
year before I
probably.
was in college. So.
What won 2 years ago for us then?
Stranger Things.
No, that was last year.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, but there's been 2 seasons. but
Oh, maybe it was
season one.
Stranger Things actually. Yeah, Stranger Things. But that's my point. I don't feel like it's in the right. This is the right award for it. I get what you're
I
saying.
think there needs to be a best documentary.
Almost
next
like
year.
it's almost like
Okay.
I have to start up my own What's Up Doc awards or something for best documentary.
I get what you're saying. Obviously, the only person who's agreeing with is Adam Disney, who's also fact-checked me, which is... It wasn't the 60s, it was the 80s.
It might have
I
been
was
60s, it might have been
only
70s.
2 decades
Doubt.
out.
Yeah,
alright.
2 decades
But it
out.
was all about, like, you know, peace and love and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
Which I am a
Can
big
we
fan.
can we just settle this that it was it's Titans? Please.
I
I think Disenchantment, we've both agreed isn't getting it.
He
said he's going to go back and watch Titans.
All of us here because the only one that's been consistent in this is Sabrina.
Shit.
You know what? I'll do that.
Can we give an award
That we've not nominated.
that none of us have nominated or none of us have seen?
Oh, you've seen it. You've seen it. I'll tell you what.
I've seen it.
I'll tell you
So
what
are
I'm
you-
surprised about.
Go on.
No one has mentioned, and I've not even watched it, but it's the TV show I've heard more about this year than anything else. Was The Bodyguard?
Yeah, no one's mentioned Bodyguard. I
No one
loved
mentioned
Bodyguard, but I just
I've
feel
not
it
watched
it
it.
ended shite. Honestly, the last 15 minutes are a cop out. It's like they went,
Shit.
we might not get a second series. Let's just wrap it. I think they could have extended it, but I wouldn't mind. Up until that 15 minutes, it was good. Like that was. I need to watch the next one. I'm not gonna lie. The last 15 minutes, cop out. I have no problem
There's
with
a lot of people disputing yours, by the way.
What? What do you mean?
Saying Titans has only come out this month.
No.
Titans has
No.
only just come out.
No, it's not. It has been on the DC streaming service since October.
Oh, come on, GB.
Which is you could have got. You could. It has been on the DC streaming service since October.
Come on, be graceful.
It's only. That's like if something didn't. What the fuck do you mean? That's like if something came out this year and then didn't get aired on Channel 4 for 2 years. Go. Oh, technically, it didn't really come out till 2020. No, it came out October 2018. Fucking wiki it, you dicks.
I don't think any of us have done a good
I
enough
think
job
I'm willing
that we
to.
can
I'm willing to
All
have
our
a
shows were shit.
I'm willing to go Sabrina. Should we all say Sabrina?
Well, let's just.
Fuck it.
Okay.
It's unprecedented. We're giving an award to something that only one of us has watched and none of us nominated. But the winner of the best TV show is going to be
Sabrina.
Sabrina! The Chilling Tales of Sabrina. There we go. Stuff came out of that one. I was happy.
Well, that's what we like. We like the public to decide.
No, thank you. This is why we have you. We need this. So let me write that on the board. Sabrina. Oh. How's that song go?
That is exactly why. Power of the people. Make sure you get your nominations in. Write what you liked, even if it's not the favourite you liked. Just put what
you
could
want
be
to
in,
win.
Your nominations, and you never know. It's going to end up on the board.
Oh, someone gave us a
Probably will.
heart. Someone gave us a little heart there. Give us some love, peeps. Give us some love.
Give us some loves, give us some shares.
Right.
We're going to
So
move on.
the next nomination.
I have a theory that ours are going to be the exact same place.
Okay, for best soundtrack, official soundtrack to a film are Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
I can't lose this.
Okay.
I know what you're going to say.
Bohemian
I
Rhapsody.
knew he'd do that! I knew!
Didn't think.
I did! Right, but I can argue this. I can argue
There's no
this.
way I lose this.
I can argue this. I debated this myself. However, all that the Bohemian Rhapsody soundtrack is a greatest hits by Queen, which existed before the film. So you could almost argue that the film has been put to the CD. It is not really a soundtrack. It's just a greatest hits, except it's got one song on by the band that they were before with that other singer. And no one wants to listen to that. So I actually put it that it's the worst greatest hits by Queen ever made.
And they made 3.
And
Had
they did
you-
3.
Hey, right. Let's just get one thing straight here.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Because
Well, it ain't Freddy.
what film did you watch this year that you watched and instantly thought, gonna put some Queen on when I get home?
I never went and watched Bohemian Rhapsody.
like there's any other film that's so specific. That fuck. Sorry. Oh, Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'll go home and put some Queen on when
Well,
I
you
get
know
home.
what I mean, right? You watch that film, right, and it was bouncing the cinema when I watched it.
Yeah.
It honestly felt like there was an energy in the room. And then when it finished, you felt like everyone was just like, oh, fucking hell.
Right.
I need to go home and listen to fucking Queen and sing. And...
Would you give this same award this year, or is it this year, to... If you're an ABBA fan, would you give it to Mamma Mia?
Jay Whittaker's on. I know you think
Oh, fuck off!
that Queen is the best band in the world. So I also know that he thinks the best soundtrack was also Bohemian Rhapsody.
I am not going to concede.
Hi, Kaylee.
I'm not... I will concede they are one of the greatest bands of all time. I admit that. But it doesn't. A great band soundtrack does not a great official soundtrack movie make. It's
Why,
Of course
why
it
not,
does.
Why not
No.
Rocket Man then?
Because we haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, but when Rocket Man comes out and you're an Elton John fan, are you going to say,
Well,
oh, Rocket
probably
Man...
next year.
You don't need to watch
Every
it.
time.
I've got Elton John's greatest hits.
Every
you
time.
don't need to watch it.
Yeah, every time a music biopic comes out, are you going to be fucking having the
This was
soundtrack
different,
win?
though.
No,
It
it's
was,
not. It's
because,
literally the
and I'll
worst.
tell you the main reason it was different, right?
Go on.
The whole bit of the end, where it was filmed at Wembley,
Yeah.
right, and they did the Live Aid thing,
Yeah.
was superb,
Yeah.
and that should just win the award on its own,
But
because
no,
it was just so good.
Because what's now that's different as well. That's different as well. So what you hear in the film is a mixture of him performing it with the overlay of the original recording and the overlay of Live Aid as well. On the official soundtrack that you buy, it is just the recording of the actual gig that is not in the film. That is not officially in the film, so that is
Okay.
incorrect.
All right.
That's like a bonus track, so it doesn't count. The reason Spider-Verse counts. Go
Alright,
on.
Here's my point, right? You've got me, okay? A man who has dedicated his life almost to punk music, rock music, that sort of stuff. You've got fucking Jay here.
Hey.
And we are both nominating an album with Post Malone on it.
Yeah.
That's how good the
And you know
soundtrack
what?
is.
His argument times 10. There is. Could you get the soundtrack up?
It is the fucking chillest soundtrack.
I'm not gonna lie. I hate to my core modern rap music, modern hip hop. I hate modern R&B. I don't like pop music much. I'm kind of and ahhing about it, but I can't stand like Lil Wayne or stuff like that. By description, I should hate this soundtrack. I think it's great. Every time I put it on in my car now,
Someone give me a track list.
he's gonna
Okay.
get it on
Because I
now.
haven't watched it.
No, that's fine. But listen to who's on it, and then, guys, you've known me longer than Dan. Dan already knows what I'm like. So start saying who.
Okay, I'll read out some of the people who featured on this album.
Yeah.
You've got Post Malone,
Don't like it.
Jaden Smith, as in Will Smith's son.
Alright, okay.
Nicki Minaj, somebody called Juice World, but World is spelt without the O and it's all in capital letters.
Is this the bad side
Ski
of it?
Mask, The Slump God, Lil Wayne, DJ Khaled.
He doesn't say DJ
Ty-
Khaled either.
Ty Dolla Sign.
Honestly, I don't
Are
know
you
any of
taking
these.
the piss?
No,
Is this
no,
supposed to infuse
no,
me?
no. The point here,
There's a
guys.
song called
You're telling me
Sunflower.
Nicki Minaj, and I'm giving you Queen,
No.
and you're disputing
Guys,
it.
I'm telling you now, the reason that we're putting this forward is, by default, we were like you. If you read that to us, watch the film. This music is amazing. It suits exactly what's going on. And I'm telling you now, if when you, I don't know if you're like me, but when you listen to it, you're in that moment of the film. I can tell you when
Exactly where each
piece of music goes, and it might as well be like Daft Punk's. You know how Daft Punk had that movie.
Interstellar.
Right.
Interstellar
So
Right.
you're telling me that you got home from watching this film, and you put on a Nicki Minaj track?
No, I got home from watching this film and I put on the Spider-Verse soundtrack.
No,
and
I'm not
listen
buying
to
it.
Well, I
The
did.
fact that Nicki Minaj and Lil Wayne and Post Malone, bearing in mind, I get called Post Malone everywhere I go.
Why do you just draw randomly on your face?
I went as Post Malone for Halloween.
Did you?
I did put Sharpie all over
That's
my face.
amazing. I love that.
But I got in and I went, all right, sweet. Do you know what it feels like? It feels like the soundtrack was made first and then the film was molded around it. Right? Okay. But it wasn't. It wasn't like that. So how perfect is that fucking soundtrack?
Yeah, I'm.
Okay.
You're not gonna move me from this because I did
I'm
consider.
not gonna move
I
from
know,
mine.
I know, but it's,
I know I've already lost.
You've
because
lost,
I've said
mate.
the
It's
same
2 versus
thing.
1.
It's almost an automatic fail for me.
But my argument to you is, and I think that you have yet to really respond to it, is it is literally the worst Queen greatest hits
No,
because
how
it
is
has
it?
because it's
I
got that
home
one song
from
on.
that movie.
It's got that-
with all of the Queen songs.
And you
Right,
went to
okay.
listen to Queen, but not that soundtrack. You went to just put Queen on. You might not
Ah.
even put a Queen song on that was in the film.
I put on the remaking of the Live Aid scene, and I think that in itself was a genius thing because they basically did the whole thing.
That's Smile, yeah.
They did the whole thing.
It's got
That's what
Smile,
I
that's
think
it.
is
It's
amazing.
Smile. The band are called Smile that they were before Queen. Why would you want that on your greatest hits? Of all the greatest hits you could put on, why would you put that one on with Smile?
Like, here's the other thing as well. Like, I'm looking at this soundtrack of they went, okay, these are the best Queen songs. It opened with 20th Century Fox fanfare, which is obviously the 20th Century Fox. Yeah. Then it's Somebody to Love, which, though a great Queen song, is not what you open with.
Bear in mind, that is my favourite Queen song in the world.
Yeah, but you don't open an album with it. You
Yeah,
end an
true.
album with
True, that. It starts the
Someone
film, though.
give Queen some love, please. Am I on my own
We've got
here?
Keep Yourself Alive. We've got Love of My Life.
Oh,
would
by the
take
way,
any
just
of those
I'm going to knock
songs.
Jay Whittaker off your stand because it's a greatest hits with Crazy Little Thing Called Love on, and I know he doesn't like that song.
I think you're
I'm going to...
charlatans.
The winner of the best official soundtrack this year is... Spider-Man! Into the Spider-Verse!
Unbelievable.
What do people put?
Right, okay, so obviously we've had a few things come in. We've had, to be fair, you know, I got Bohemian Rhapsody is a shout out there. Spider-Verse was a shout out as soon as that happened, so can't really go on with that. So, Liam David has put watches Ant-Man and the Wasp and puts on Adam and the Ants. I don't know what
I don't know if that's how...
Even
That's not how
in the
soundtracks work, you
soundtrack.
know.
But fair play, we all thought it. Mamma Mia 2.
That's exactly my point.
Obviously.
That
Anything
doesn't
with
count.
Sharon is
She
not
loves
within
her
the
theatre, does Liz. And to be fair, ABBA is boss.
Oh, Abba Abbas, they are fantastic.
So you can't
But
say
it's
film there. Black Panther's music was pretty good.
That
didn't-
was solid.
I didn't like that. I didn't like any music in Black
Kendrick
Panther.
Lamar track was fucking
Yeah.
insane.
We've got the Love Simon soundtrack.
Oh,
What's
Love
that called?
Simon.
Love
I've not
Simon.
watched
Love
Yeah.
Simon, I haven't watched
So
that yet.
someone
That's
put
meant to be
The
really
Love.
good, actually.
Comma
No,
Simon.
don't
and
say
I've just
the Love
read
Simon
it like
soundtrack.
it should have been. And it's confused me, Kirsten. Stop putting grammar in things. I don't use grammar.
Yes, it sounds like The Love. That is a Simon soundtrack.
And Liz has put JB spent too much time with kids. I don't know why she's put it.
I don't know what
I
that
can only
means.
assume she's commenting on the fact that you're trying to be down with the kids by liking Post Malone.
I don't like.
I
That's
was
the
gonna
thing.
say,
You know what? I
yes.
want to point out. I then went to listen to a Post Malone album, thinking, "Is this what he sounds like?" He
not.
doesn't. No, I turned it off.
I don't want to die too young.
Too late.
Okay, so we're going to move on, right? Okay, so Spider-Verse has took it. I knew I was outnumbered there.
Yeah.
I still think Queen is the best.
Um.
We've now got Mark Wilson watching. Hello, Mark.
Oh, hi,
Thanks for
Mark.
joining us. Hi, Mark.
Hold on. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, you can't do it like that.
Oh, hi, Mark.
There we go.
Liz says you're on Nicki Minaj.
You're tearing me
Apart, Liz.
Liz.
Right. So, the next one. It's a new category, ladies and gentlemen.
Ah!
Oh yeah.
Shit, son.
We have never had this category
is
before,
exciting.
but we felt like we had to mix it up a bit. So, this year, we're doing Best Hero. Best Hero of a film. Take that as you want. The best protagonist, the best whatever. Best Hero. So, the nominations are for Best Hero. Domino.
Miles Morales.
I put Chief from Isle of Dogs.
Oh, these are all very good. I like all of these. Who wants to take the floor first? I mean,
I don't mind going
I've not
first.
seen Isle of Dogs, so
I
I'd
would
like
say
to
let
hear your
Gaz go
input.
first. I want to know that. Yeah,
I
you've
think-
got my interest.
I don't think this film got as much credit as it fucking deserved.
No,
this
it didn't
year,
get
by the
really
way.
any.
I think this is like the modern animation masterpiece that
Yeah.
everyone should be watching.
I very much felt that the build-up was huge. There was a lot of, oh, this is going to be really good.
And then no one went
And
to
then
see
it
it.
came out, and I heard nothing about it.
And I find that really strange. This is, you know me, like I
know
hold
you.
on to my ratings very, very dearly.
Yeah.
I was even discussing this with you previously about the fact that this year has only held 3 9s for me out of 10.
You've activated Siri, by the way.
I don't even know how I'd do that.
Unactivate
I
Siri.
don't know how. Oh right, on my phone.
Yeah,
Oh,
there you go.
okay, But like, obviously,
2 screens is too many.
Yeah, you've activated Siri on my Samsung.
No, but
Heathen.
I had 3 9s this year, and one of them was I Love Dogs.
That sounds like you said, I love dogs.
I love dogs.
I love dogs.
Well, as a dog lover, JB, have you seen this film?
I have seen this film, and I'm an animation lover.
Good was this
It
film?
was very good. I'm not
How
gonna lie,
did
it was
this
very
not
good.
get the love it deserved? And Chief was my favourite hero of the year.
Is
It
Chief,
was
is
perfect.
Chief the one played by...
the one from Breaking Bad?
Yeah,
I can't
what's his
remember
name?
now.
I'll IMDb it.
So anyway, while that's going on, right? So I thought it was the perfect hero. He's a bit of an outsider.
Yeah.
Doesn't get on with the main group, and then suddenly he turns and he is this hero character.
Oh, Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston plays it
And
amazingly.
it is brilliant all the way through it, right? And as much as like the voice acting in this film, I mean, you've got is Bill Murray in there?
Bill Murray.
Just look
Bill
at
Murray's in
It's
this picture.
just insane, right?
Edward Norton, Jeff Goldblum, Bill Murray,
Jeff Goldblum. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
amazing.
This film was bigger than it.
Scarlett Johansson,
I
Harvey
can't
Keitel,
believe it doesn't get as much love.
Yoko Ono.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And Thomas
It's
Winter.
literally
I'm gonna watch that.
superb, this film. And Bryan Cranston was the crown jewel of this film.
He does have a really good character arc. I'm not
and
going to lie.
The storyline is
Yeah.
perfect. The character is perfect. He is just like the quintessential hero that comes from, you shouldn't like him at first because he's a bit of a bad dog. And then he's just the best fucking dog at the
Is he a
end.
bad boy?
Right.
He's selfless.
Okay. I would argue that, I didn't see that coming. That's like a little left hook I didn't see. But I'll hit you back with Domino is a character that, in the build-up, she got some hate. Because Domino is white in the comics with a black spot. And they cast a black girl with a white spot. And people are like going... She can't possibly play the part because her pigmentation is different. And that's obviously bullshit. I don't understand why that's a problem. But she got a little bit of hate beforehand. She fucking nailed it. Everyone walked out of that film of Deadpool 2. And remember, this is the debut of Cable. And Josh fucking Brolin played Cable as well. But people walked out talking about Domino. And also, she had a really weird power, which again, everyone was like... Deadpool even set pandas to it and goes... Good luck.
It's not real power.
It's not a real power. Good luck isn't a power. She shows how it's a power, and she's the most impressive out of her powers. The way she just goes about, it is just like you are there going, this is amazing, this is fantastic.
I was actually talking to a friend of mine, Alex, today. I don't know if he's watching or not. I told him to. But...
Hi, Alex, if you are.
Hi, Alex Sally. But, right, okay. He actually today, weirdly enough, was saying how much he enjoyed Domino in Deadpool 2. It's really weird, but he absolutely adored Domino in Deadpool 2 as well.
Honestly?
Today he was really enthusiastic. He was about it. He was saying it's just amazing. She was the highlight of the movie.
Yeah. Over Cable to me. Over Cable. She outshone Cable. She was a total underdog. She only comes in about this midway through the second act as well, I wouldn't mind. So Cable is there from the first act. She steals the show there. And what I liked about her was she was this strong character of a woman, but they didn't have to over-sexualise her. They didn't do anything like that. She was just genuinely a bit of a force to be reckoned with. She was like a comedic Wonder Woman. In that. She was a badass, and I really like that, and we need more of that in film and comics. A badass woman who you don't first thing you think is that ass. You think badass. And she did that for me. I honestly, I remember you coming out.
I really liked Deadpool 2.
Who did you
and
say
one of the
again?
main reasons I liked Deadpool 2 was Domino. I really enjoyed the character. I thought the dynamic of it was brilliant. Like, between her and Deadpool, really good chemistry. I can't dispute yours because...
You agree,
I do agree, but I do think Chief is a better
What was
hero.
yours again? Who did you
Miles Morales in Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, you see.
He's got a perfect character arc. He wants to be a hero. He gets shown the hero life and thinks he can't do it. Everybody tries to help him in all the others.
No spoilers,
but all the other people around him try and help him, get him to be the hero that they know he can be. They can't do it. He has to do it himself. And at the end of the day, the thing that gets it for him is himself. And everything that he realizes he knew before he's always been a hero all along. And at the end of that movie, he's fucking badass.
It's almost
He
like
is absolutely badass. He goes from 0 to 10 immediately.
0 to hero, just like that. He has you know what it reminds me of as well. That moment, which I won't ruin, but you know the bit where he realizes he finds himself to do it.
Yeah.
It's a very low key version of when the original Peter Parker lifts the building off him.
Yeah,
in the comics,
actually, I get what you mean.
It's very like that, except there's not that extreme danger to it, and there's not that panic, but there's still that urgency and that effect. I totally hear you. The only reason that right? So we've all agreed. We all think these are very good nominations. So now it's about chipping away at the others. I would argue that Chief, the only reason I wouldn't give him it is because, yes, he becomes a good dog, but in order to become a good dog, he has to really do something which is a bit... I thought it was an odd thing, and become almost like a clone. You know, he has to become like the other dogs, like he isn't himself. He changes almost completely and becomes
Do you not think that's him emerging as a hero?
I don't know. I feel like he loses a little bit of his identity at the end, and it is like a completely different person.
It's a bit like Bruce Wayne is not the hero, Batman is, but Tony Stark is still a hero.
Yeah, and
Bruce Wayne is not the hero.
With Miles. With Miles.
I think, like, well, just while we're deliberating, right, you give us your best heroes of the year.
Hey, you might have another Sabrina here.
I'm going to go over a few things that have come in, right? We've had, Wilson Fisk.
That is not a hero, are you? Sorry.
I'm sure you're meant for the next category, but okay. Deadpool's come in.
Yeah. I didn't think he was a good hero. He had a really...
Ash has also put Thanos.
Oh, fucking hell. No, I don't think...
Isle of Dogs was amazing. Someone else put loved Isle of Dogs. Isle of Dogs was great. One of my favourites of last year. Not mentioning the hero as such as the movie.
The protagonist is...
Kurt Russell's Santa Claus? We have a little bit of love for that.
Oh, what a shout. Kurt Russell's Santa Claus.
The only thing I would say is he can't win...
Oh, no, you've set him off now.
He can't win Best Hero because he spent most of it in a jail cell singing the blues. He did nothing in the film.
I've still
It was actually the two kids who were the heroes and the elves that were the heroes. No, Kurt Russell just sang.
It just opened a can of worms of Gaz.
So, anyway, I loved it though. So, fair play. We've also had... I agree with Domino.
That's Jazz.
Oh!
Jazz. Thank you very
much. My girlfriend's taking your side, that's fine.
Thank you.
So,
thank you very much.
With that in mind, are we going to try and deliberate?
I mean, can you... I chipped away at yours a bit. The thing about... I am going to admit, because I'm sportsmanlike like that, is Miles Morales... It is hard for me to chip away at this. He's actually one of my favourite comic book characters. I love the comics of Miles as well. And it does tell the story in a different way, but it does tell the same story. There's no fault in his arc. There is nothing wrong with it. I think the only thing I would say is Miles' story is almost kind of... I want to say kind of predictable if you take it to its most base form. Its absolute most base form. Person doesn't believe they can do something, or person has no powers. Person gets powers. Person doesn't think they can do it. Person does it. I think that's very almost predictable. Domino.
That is your meat and two veg of a hero arc. My argument would be, as a hero of the story, depending on how you define hero. I've not seen Isle of Dogs, I'll admit, so I cannot comment. But Domino's only a hero because she's being paid to be a hero in that movie. She would.
My main argument
be a villain in
with
Domino, on the ropes.
My main argument with Domino as well is the fact that I want to make sure I say this right. Right, is if you took her out of the movie, there'd still be a hero.
Yeah, she's a supporting hero.
She's a support hero.
She's
best supporting hero. Domino wins it hands down.
You know what's going to be best?
She's not the main hero.
Also, can I point out this is the Nerdies?
She's a superhero.
No, but I'm talking about our dark side.
Right,
I've already discredited you.
No, Isle of Dogs. You see, that's still in the running. I think it does count as a nerdy film because it's quite niche and it was an animated one and it's about dogs at the end of the day. It's quite weird. I'm only gonna. If I had to lean one way, I have to lean towards Miles because I did love Chief. I really did. But by the end of him, it wasn't Chief. He is a very good boy, but he's a very subservient boy, and I think that was right for him in that world, but I don't think that's a great message. Whereas a hero should be portrayed as someone you idolise and become, and I don't think he's right. He'd be good for like 1%.
On that, aren't we?
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with Miles Morales on this.
Oh, here we go. Right, we're giving it. It's going to Miles Morales.
Oh, fuck it, I'm making up for Disenchantment.
I know, yeah. The winner is for Best Hero, Miles Morales from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Oh, that was a...
Lovely stuff. Right, okay. What are we on to next?
Um,
I don't have time for a pee here.
Well, why don't you... If you go for a pee, I will have a look at what the audience have to say. So, we've got Ash Bowker saying villains are real heroes. Liz is saying... He's no Doug from Up. Which one was Doug? Was he the dog?
Doug is the dog, yeah. Doug's
yeah,
the dog.
I'm not gonna. But was Doug the hero in that?
No one's the hero in Up.
In there? No. In
no
the,
one is the hero in Up.
Yeah, the old man is.
He's not a hero.
Why is he not? Why?
Because he's. I mean, I will give you. I don't think. Okay, I think a line needs to be drawn between the difference between a hero and a protagonist. That's my issue.
Okay.
I don't think. I mean, other than showing up to the little fat kids thing at the end of the movie, and replace. I mean, in fairness, he's a father figure for him. He becomes a father figure to him, which is amazing, and it's a great thing because they have an amazing relationship at the end. But I think that just makes him a good person, not a hero.
Liz just put, sorry, he's the better boy. I mean. Doug is, I mean, this is a rabbit hole in of itself, but best dog hero in a film. I immediately want to say Lassie.
Oh, yeah, it's got to be Lassie.
It's Lassie and Dalmatian.
Oh, no, the fucking,
Chris Wakefield is watching! He's back from Thanos' snap. Hi, Chris! Chris, we got a stand-in, someone else who likes comics and has a Spider-Man tattoo on his arm. I'm trying to see who put. I agree with Dom. Yeah, that was your Jazz, but I agree with Domino. So the next up, if you want to start really disputing this, and also, by the way, if you haven't already, please tweet us at @TalkNerdUK for the best comic winner. I'm not gonna lie. If no one does it, I wouldn't. Twitter's not the most popular UK thing. I don't think people in the UK use Twitter really. But if you do, great. Go to @TalkNerdUK. You can see we've put up what's the best comic. Just tweet at us. I know the camera's slightly not on me. I keep doing this because this is where my microphone is. We've only got so much room, and I feel like the boys deserve a lot of room. I've got my own, TV show essentially.
Jazz sent me a picture.
Of when you were Post Malone. We might put that on Instagram actually.
Also, Jazz has commented that you aren't in the frame as.
That's what I've just said. Yeah.
Oh, is that what you just said? I wasn't listening. I was busy reading her.
Here you go, Gary.
Oh, thank you.
Right. So on
Where are we up to now?
Next one is.
I have washed my hands. For all the viewers out there.
Okay.
Very clean, I am.
The next category is another new category, and that is Best Villain. Best Villain. So, Best Villain of 2018 for me. The nominations are... Where did I put that? Ocean Master.
Michael B. Jordan in Black Panther.
Oh, Killmonger.
It is Killmonger.
Killmonger.
I panicked because I was like, I'm sure it's Killmonger, but I don't want to say it wrong.
Killmonger.
So I panicked and just said the actor's name.
Thanos.
Oh well. Right.
See,
so it's down to 2.
Right. No. The only reason I didn't want.
Let me just
go on.
I can sense that you're both going, oh, that's an obvious choice. Well, of course it's an obvious choice. I think as a villain this year, no one has done better than Thanos. He killed half of the fucking Marvel universe, by the way. And I'm sorry, but if you watched Infinity War, it was gripping. with Thanos on screen.
Okay.
How is that not a good villain? We have always criticised villains.
Villains in Marvel
In
as
Marvel
well.
especially.
Yes.
And Thanos is the first one who I think, realistically, and I know you're going to bring up Black Panther and stuff, but none of them villains that they're good, they're okay. But Thanos has been this mythical beast for a while.
With a build-up.
Yeah, exactly. And I get that, like, obviously it's such an obvious choice, and I think it's an obvious choice because he is the best villain Marvel have had in the entire cinematic universe. And how long has that cinematic universe been going, by the way?
Like 18
So,
movies deep, something like that.
I don't see how this can be disputed. I think he is just the be-all and end-all. He is now as big a character. You think of all of the internet reaction and all of the reaction to this movie. This is as big as the Joker for me. It is literally. No, I'm not saying he's Heath Ledger's Joker. I honestly, I think Heath Ledger's Joker will go down as the best villain performance of all time. But I think Thanos is Marvel's answer to it. I think it's credible. He has a great appearance. He has great presence on screen. He's got this click thing, right, where he kills half of the fucking population. Like, how were you not gripped by that whole thing?
I will give you that Thanos is a fantastic villain. My issue is I think his motivations are flawed all the way through. I mean, fair enough. Like, he's doing this because, you know, his planet died because there weren't enough people. So he decides, okay, I'm going to kill off half the population of the entire universe until everything's equal. He's snapped. Pardon the... Right? But at the end of the movie, right, he has the Infinity Gauntlet and he snaps his fingers and he can do anything in existence. Why doesn't he just double the rations? Double the resources?
I can actually... I can answer that, to be fair. I hate it when I do this. Entropy. So, by him doing that, it's actually that wouldn't work because at a point you can double the rations, but you can't. I suppose you could argue he double the land, but it wouldn't work. You can't make he could make plants bigger, but it's not the same. It's easier for him to halve stuff. Entropy would then catch up as well. He's doubled everything, but rations fade. They would go down and go down. You have to square one again. Well, at least by him doing this, you can go back to square one and start again and make it so you can't reach that point. That's why it's called entropy. It's just the passage of time and growth. He's got foresight on that. I'll give him that. My problem with Thanos is Thanos does no fucking work. In all the movies, he sends Loki out to do his dirty work. He sends what's his name? What's his name? I judge you. What's it? The Accuser. Ronan the Accuser. Yeah. Sends Ronan the Accuser to his dirty work. Sends out his dark. What they fucking called the Black. What are they called? The Black Parade. he sends them out when he first comes down to Tony Stark. Goes, when I was a young boy. He sends them to do. The only things he does is he twats the Hulk at the beginning.
Oh, that's scary. In fairness, when he beat the Hulk, that's the first time I've ever been scared.
But I always put down that the Hulk wasn't prepped. Thought he was just like anyone else. So just let his guard down and got twatted by it. He twats the Hulk and then he does nothing else.
The Black Order.
The Black Order. The Black Order do all the work. And then
the Black Order is shit, though.
Exactly, but they do all the work. They're his backup.
Yeah,
and
but
at the
he's
very
still
end,
the guy who
at the very end, he nearly dies.
He doesn't do it. The Infinity Stones do it.
Yeah, but he gets them all.
No, he doesn't. He sends the Black
Order to get them. Who did you say?
Killmonger.
Killmonger.
Because here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. His motivation is he thinks his father's been murdered. Obviously, his father has been. Sorry, spoilers. If you've not seen Black Panther by now, though,
I know. Come on,
it was a year
ago. Yeah.
Even South
Park, last year.
South Park have mocked it in 2 seasons. I mean, you know. Anyway, yeah. My thing was he has this motivation. He has this hatred for this country of Wakanda, and instead of going, I'm going to destroy it, he goes, I'm going to take over it, and it's going to be mine, and then I can do whatever the fuck I want with it.
And then he wants to take over the world, but in his and make it one giant Wakanda.
Yeah.
So it's not like he hates it. He's like, I can make it better, and I can make the whole world better.
I'm gonna make Wakanda what my dad told me it was meant to be.
I can see that. I feel though there's almost the same, and maybe it could be a criticism against the film, but Ocean Master has the same arc, the exact same arc. He believes he's the rightful Ocean Master, as it's called. He's the one who should lead Atlantis. Atlantis is divided, and unite them to take over the land people, and finally rise. And Aquaman is in his way. He is a formidable force. Aquaman even says, like, I don't know if I can beat... At first he's like, I'm sure I can beat him. And then afterwards he's like, I don't even think I can beat him. I'm not really sure how this is going to go. He's conniving, he's cunning. And at the end of the day, what I liked about him as a villain is, even though he wanted to destroy all life on land, I was kind of in his corner. I understood where he was coming from.
That's a good villain.
And his argument is very similar to your Thanos, in the sense that the land people have gone too far. They've caused wars and pollution. We can stop that. We can get rid of them. Almost, some would say, like that. And we can start again. Entropy.
My biggest, and this is where we'll turn it now. So we've got to start discounting, I think.
Okay, so we've all agreed our villains are villainous.
Oh, good.
I'm not going to lie, did love Thanos, loved Killmonger.
My
I also
biggest
did
problem
love
with
Thanos
Ocean
sometimes.
Master is I don't think he's the best villain in that movie. Because I think Mantis is.
Having not seen it, I don't know.
I
Mantis is his...
It's his arch.
His
arch.
I loved, absolutely loved, right? And I don't think it was a perfect movie by any stretch, but when I watched Aquaman, the villain that I wanted on screen more was Mantis.
Mantis has the better battle scenes. He's not the better villain. He has the more exciting kind of battle scenes because Aquaman can't predict what he's going to do because he doesn't expect him to be this kind of like have all the tech to take him down. The reason Ocean Master's the better villain is because at the end of the day, he doesn't actually want to hurt Ocean Master. He's related, the half brothers, and it's this kind of Thor Loki thing going on as well.
That, but is it pulled off anywhere near the scale of Thor and Loki?
It's not near the scale. I'm just saying it's on the same thread. Whereas with a good example is Black Mantis. I'm not giving away spoilers, but once Black Mantis finishes his final scene, he's out the film. That's it. He's gone. He's a background villain. He's a backup villain. He's like what you were calling if there was an award for best supporting villain, he would get that. But he's not the main.
I've been had.
You just got
hoisted by your own petard, sir. Right. This is a hard one because I'm not gonna lie. I did want to put Thanos. I did want to put Killmonger. The reason I put Ocean Master over those two is, again, going to the actual film of Aquaman. I expected to like Thanos and think he was a good villain and think there was enough behind him. I expected that Killmonger would be a good villain because of who he has to be in the film. I did not expect me to remotely think Ocean Master was a threat, to be on his side, to be, especially in a movie that, I'm not gonna lie, is pretty friggin' cheesy. It's a really cheesy film, but he looks great, he fights great, and at the end of the day, again, no spoilers, Aquaman has to reach the absolute heights of his powers to even take him on.
Yeah, but at the same time, did you not just like Mantis more?
See, here's my...
you tell me honestly, did you not want more Mantis than Ocean Master?
On the fucking ropes,
He knows!
I can't lie, I'm a sportsman. I did want more Mantis, but again, he's not in the film much. Ocean Master is the main villain, so I got a lot of him.
Here's the thing, though. You went into Avengers Infinity Wars thinking you were gonna like Thanos. You went into Black Panther thinking you were gonna like Killmonger. You went into Aquaman thinking you weren't gonna like Ocean Master. Right? Okay. You went into Infinity Wars thinking it was gonna be a good movie. You went into Black Panther thinking it was gonna be a good movie. You went into Aquaman thinking it was gonna be a bad movie.
Right.
Is there any chance that maybe your opinion of the movie and how surprised you were by how good Aquaman was, thinking it was going to be shit, do you think that might have a contribution to why you think he's such a good villain?
This interview is over.
No,
This accusation will not be held
I
here.
do get what you're saying. Because
I-
it's that whole
yeah,
thing
maybe.
Of like,
Oh shit, I thought this was
maybe
going to be
we
terrible.
weren't really.
It's
Maybe.
actually not that bad.
I'm
Therefore, it appears
maybe
greater.
At the same time, I get why he's picked it.
I get
But
what
I
you- I've
also
not seen the movie,
think that
but-
Mantis was the better villain in that movie. I know he's a supporting villain, but he was the better villain.
If I had to right now,
Change your mind.
if I had to change my, I feel like I'm not going to win you two over on this, and I can actually feel myself leaning.
Oh shit, son.
I am leaning towards Thanos
Yes!
Okay,
because
I get that. In
I
fairness,
feel
I get
I feel that Killmonger, whilst he was great,
And he was.
He was great.
This is one of the first categories where I think we've all agreed every single nomination has
was
been
on par.
Like, we've all seen him, I think.
Yeah. Well, no, Aquaman.
predominantly.
He's not.
Oh,
I've
Oh,
not
right,
seen
yeah, okay.
Aquaman.
But like we've predominantly said, like these are the best villains. You get what I mean? There's no dispute, right?
They're all good villains. Sorry, I've interrupted you there, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
Did Thor Ragnarok come out 2018 or 17?
I think that's
17.
It
17.
is 17.
It was
okay.
November, wasn't it? Last.
Was it? All right.
last
I,
year.
Wait.
I watched it this year. That's why I'm thinking. But fucking Helena in that was amazing.
Helena. Yeah, no, Helena was.
She was an amazing villain
Yeah.
in that. But sorry, yeah, I couldn't remember if it was 2017 or 18.
Can we? I also feel at the end of the day.
Should we see what these people
See what
say?
people say, but I
Okay,
feel.
let's have a look. Right. Okay. So what
What
we're
are you
going with
thinking?
here?
While you scroll up.
I feel that it would be a disservice to Thanos himself if 2018 isn't remembered. I mean, how many of these villains got memes?
In fairness, yeah.
this
I mean,
is
Michael,
my thing.
Michael B.
It
Jordan
is-
got one or two, but most of the memes were just how hot.
I'm-
he was.
I also
I
feel
think
like
if you
Michael B.
look at it
Jordan
as a
made those memes
cultural
himself.
thing, this is what I was saying at the very beginning. This is the first cultural villain that has took over
Since the
everyone.
Joker
Yeah.
of Heath Ledger.
Do you
Oh,
get what I
yeah.
mean? Like,
I
it's-
get that,
it's
I
as big
get
as
what
that,
you're
because
saying
that
now.
whole meme thing of like, oh, snap my fingers and all this kind of stuff. It was bigger than the film itself.
It's a reference.
It's a reference now.
The second you said Thanos, I went, oh shit. in my head.
I get that.
Why did
like,
you not go Thanos, by the way? I know why my argument to myself would have been he didn't do anything, but at the same time you could argue, well, he kind of did.
I think it's
my-
so obvious.
Yeah.
Right, and it was one of those where when I was looking at it and I was thinking best villain, and I was trying to think of, you know what I'm like, I like to come outside the box a lot of the time.
Well, yeah, Wild West or whatever the fuck it was, and
To the wicked, wow,
And I try and go for something that's not so obvious, but this one just seemed so obvious it was obvious.
Why?
See, that's I think why I didn't pick it because it's
Really?
so obvious. I think it was such an obvious villain. I think I genuinely just glided past it.
What have people put?
Um,
While you do
not-
that,
not
I'm just
too
gonna have a
much.
pee.
yeah. No, we've got Black Manta, not Mantis. Chris,
Oh fuck off! Yeah, okay, bloody hell. Go watch the film, Chris.
We've also got someone saying, hold on, I saw something for Thanos before. So it said, glimpses at Thanos, this is from Dizzo, glimpses at Thanos in previous Avengers movies was better than Thanos, when I assume he means in the film itself. He's about now how just he seems met, and let's face it, if Star Wars hadn't been a little bitch, then Thanos would have been taken down.
Arguably, yes. Also, if Thor had just aimed a little bit higher.
Yeah, I mean, I get
Sorry,
that.
that's
but,
spoilers.
like, I always think, you know, if you're going to build up a character, and this is where I think Thanos could have failed miserably. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, like that
Like,
film
they
could have
built
potentially very much ended.
Yeah, exactly. They built this film up over series of films of, you know, snippets of Thanos, and I get what Dizzo's saying. You know, like Thanos was almost like this mythical beast to a certain extent because it was here's a snippet here and here's Thanos and oh shit,
Yeah, it's like his
Thanos is coming.
You hear whispers of his name
But
in
to
deep space
actually
and stuff
pull
like
that off in the end, in the way it was done, I
Yeah.
think
I'm
is
gonna get a bit.
is
Did you get me
testament
one as well?
to how good Thanos was when he was on screen.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're talking about a movie that was like the biggest blockbuster of the the fucking age, basically. Like, this whole thing built up
Oh, it was
to this.
huge. It was huge.
You know,
Yeah.
we're on the Nerdies right now. There couldn't be a nerdier film than the biggest nerdy film that has been in probably the last 10 years.
Arguably, it. Thank you, man. Considering it wasn't the climax, it felt.
Oh shit!
It's alright. It's just my phone, dude.
No, it's alright. It's not like you've just had it recently repaired. It's fine.
Oh shit! So, yeah, considering like it wasn't the climax, it very much felt like one, and
That's what she said.
that's a very good movie right there.
Okay.
Alright, so we're gonna
see.
concede, are we?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to, really.
Okay,
I
so-
don't know what we're conceding to.
Thanos. I think.
Right, okay.
Okay, yours, you dickhead. So the winner of Best Villain 2018 is Thanos. Yay! I'll write that down on the old board right here. Ugh. He gets his
Okay,
own-
come on, guys. Let's get some comments in. Right, the next thing is going to be about the nerdy icon of the year. So, who in this 1 year alone has contributed more to nerd culture than anyone else has? So,
Now,
I'm not talking about who you think is you know, like the biggest nerd of all time or anything like that. But who in this 1 year has contributed more to a nerdy position than anyone else?
Previous
So-
I've got a
winners.
new answer. I've got a new answer,
Previous
so.
winners have been Mark Hamill and Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
That gives you an idea of what the level of what we're
Now,
expecting.
what did we give Mark Hamill it for?
It was for,
Killing Joke, I believe.
he did Killing
Ooh,
Joke.
shout.
Killing Joke appearing at the end the year that was. He appeared at the end of The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
And he also did some more stuff as well. He was in a lot. Oh, I think he was. Did he go in the Flash CW series and reprise?
Yeah, he was the trickster.
He was the trickster
in
again.
Flash.
Yeah, so we gave him it on that one.
And he did that very well.
Yeah, the Hugh Jackman. Well, for just Hugh Jackman, he won it for his
Wolverine. Years
Logan,
of
doing that.
service to Wolverine, and not just the years of service, but let's all agree that Logan was a fucking.
And that one video that
Belting
went
film.
viral of him doing the
Exactly,
sound
right.
effects for
So
it.
this is what we're talking about. We're talking about what he did that year for nerdy culture.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about the fact that Hugh Jackman just served years as Wolverine.
You're talking about Shaft.
I'm talking about the fact that he brought out Logan, which was the best way to end the Wolverine series to me. And that's what we're talking about. So we're talking about this year. A lot of people are saying Stan Lee already.
Right, so...
Now, hold your patience.
Hold your patience. You know what?
guys.
Try do this now. I might as well. Wow. So we're going to settle this now. We're not going to give it to Stan Lee. And here's why. A new category. We are going to start the Stan Lee Lifetime Achievement Award. This is a completely separate award, as you can see here. The Stan Lee Lifetime Achievement Award is to go to members of the nerdy culture, nerd cult, that contribute their entire lives, and it's a tribute to them after they have passed. Stan Lee is the one who gets it this year. One could argue maybe we should have started this earlier, as Steve Ditko passed away the year before. I feel like Stan Lee is the one that really made us realise, holy shit, we need to start doing something. So Stan Lee isn't getting a Nerdy Hero of the Year award, because that's almost not, that's a disservice, because that's for the year. He is getting a Lifetime Achievement Award, and from here on out, every year we're going to award a tribute to someone who spent their entire life to nerdydom, and they will win the Stan Lee Lifetime Achievement Award. So that's for Stan Lee right there. Any words, Stan? No.
You mean Simon?
Simon, it's not Simon Says.
Oh, is it not?
no,
I
it's
think,
not.
like,
No,
obviously,
it
I mean,
looks
if
like
we're going to go
science.
on to this first, then, I mean...
We can say some words, but by the
At
way...
the end of the day, we all thought the same thing. We were going over Nerdy Icon of the Year,
Yeah.
and I said I didn't feel like it was enough
to just give him that.
to just give him Nerdy Icon of the Year. I feel personally like Stan Lee is beyond an award, and this is why we tried to do something this year where we said, right, let's not necessarily give him Nerdy Icon of the Year, because that's a bit, right, okay, you know, let's talk about it. We think that Hugh Jackman got it last year. He probably could have gotten it.
I'm fairly certain he got it.
But like, obviously, the year before,
Mark Hamill.
We maybe give it to Mark Hamill, and I could understand again
And you got
why
so Hugh Jackman, Mark Hamill,
Lifetime of the Achievement Award,
straight up there, Stanley.
I felt like this one felt like it deserved its own award. We want to give this is the Stanley Award.
The Stanley.
It had to be that we gave it more gravitas than just a normal award because he deserves it.
Yeah, I agree, and as well, having been part of the Talk Nerdy to Me podcast, and we did the Stanley eulogy almost, where we just sort of remembered him for a podcast. Having seen how much we all admired him and respected him, it would have been pointless to have done Stanley because we would have agreed.
Yeah.
And there would have been no debate, there would have been no discussion, we would have just agreed.
Takes the sport out of this old boy, I think is what you're saying.
A little bit. And I think instead of, just going, alright, okay, it's Stanley, and then giving him 5 seconds of the show.
Yeah. So, if you want to know more about what we thought about Stanley, we did a whole podcast on it. It's there on the site, www.talknerdy.uk. Just go and listen. But yeah, the Stanley Lifetime Achievement Award. But now, and we can go into the Nerdy Icon of the Year.
I think
award.
as well, going forward, we've got to point out the Stanley Achievement Award is only going to people who literally will earn that title.
That lifetime.
I mean, we might not even rock it out every year, I think.
No,
if there isn't a year where we think someone deserves this. But if you win a Stanley Award, then you know. You are
if you win a Stanley Award, you'll be dead.
I wasn't going to say that.
I like as if they were alive, they'd have any idea that they'd won it.
Exactly, as well.
Hey, I know Harrison Ford is watching this going, it better be next year.
He's going to fly another plane.
It fucking better be next year.
So, we're going to move on to the Nerdy Icon Award. The Nerdy Icon Award nominations are Josh Brolin,
Jodie Whittaker,
I'm going with Ryan Reynolds.
Right. I'm going to shoot you both down right now. Josh Brolin was both the debut of Cable this year. He was also Thanos, which you backed up for being the villain of the year. And he has recently, although you may not notice this, he has been pushed... What the fuck was that? He's been pushing himself as being the lead in Aquaman and taking all the credit for the film on social media. So anyone talking about how good Aquaman is, he's been like retweeting it going, glad you like me in that film. And people have been going, oh right, was it you? He's like, yeah, I'm Aquaman. And he's just been going with it. So I love Josh Brolin at the moment. He's took Cable and Thanos, became both of those this year, and he's almost stealing Aquaman as well. Argue that back.
Right. Well, let's get some opinions in. So start sending your opinions in as well, right? So what is your best
nerdy
icon of the year? Because this is quite a big one, I think.
Yes,
there's been a lot going on this year.
Yeah, exactly. Now I'm gonna argue mine. I get what you're saying, right? I find it hard to dispute the fact that I've just argued so much for Thanos.
That's why I was letting you. I let you do that.
I've hung myself out to dry.
Why do you think he changed his mind on this?
It's not chess.
But at the same time, I think Ryan Reynolds has absolutely owned a character that no one else now. And I get that the first one came out, and I get that this is just the second one, but I think now we're on to the second one, we should be starting to recognise how good a character this is. And how much, especially, we gave the trailers before a lot of credit. Ryan Reynolds is not just the movie star at the moment. He is Deadpool. I mean, like...
Plus Detective Pikachu.
It's unreal. Like,
he's Detective Pikachu as well.
I've not seen someone come into a character and...
Beg your pardon? Since you watched some awesome cosplay...
Since I watched Ron Jeremy. No, but like, I just think he's developed this personality. Well, it's probably his personality, don't get me wrong, and that's why he fits the character so much. But so much around the movie that comes out, it is just him. He is Deadpool. He has become this icon of...
Yeah.
The personality is more than the films themselves.
But can I not argue back to you that that's a problem as well? Because as we've stated before the podcast episode, whatever you want to call this, started... Award ceremony. Thank you. He can't be any other character now. He's painted himself into a corner. He's going to be Detective Pikachu this year, and we're already, all three of us agreed, it might not work because we just heard Deadpool, and that's him trying to branch out. My person, Josh Brolin, is both Thanos and Cable, two very different characters, and we would not remotely cross-reference them in any single way. And he's all, like I said, he's managing to spoof to people. He's also Aquaman. The versatility of this man is like a boneless person. You can just do whatever the fuck you want with him. And who was yours? Jodie Whittaker. That's a hard one.
I know.
I honestly, like...
I see why I was excited when I thought of it.
I did not see that one coming.
I did not
at all,
okay.
right? And I didn't watch the Doctor Who's when they first came out, but I have been watching a lot of Doctor Who recently, and I'm starting to side.
My worry is if I argue this, I also am a producer for a podcast called The Time Lasses, and if I argue back, my balls might end up the way of like Chris.
I might have won this argument without arguing whatsoever.
Tell me, okay, I'll argue back on Jodie Whittaker. Oh God, help me.
Okay, well, should I say why?
Go on, please.
I'll say why I think.
Yeah, please, so I don't have to say anything off the
cuff. And then you can have some time to think and defend or whatever. I think Jodie Whittaker. I mean, she came into a TV series that had been the same format for 50, how many, was it, like 55 years, something like that?
You know, it's decline as well, I think.
Capaldi, Capaldi was great, the stories were shite. It was Moffat, get rid of Moffat.
That is the same problem with the new series, I would find. I would say, when I watched every episode of the new series, I left the episode and went, alright, okay.
She was the best part.
She was the only part of that episode that I thought was good. Like, I think she's jumped into the role well, considering I don't think, if I'm right, I don't think she'd, done much. She wasn't a massive Whovian, let's say.
She's a bit, no, she is.
I know she's a fan, but she's not like Peter Capaldi.
No, she's not Capaldi,
but then she's probably at the same level as Tennant and Matt Smith.
No, Tennant again, was it Tennant and Capaldi were on the same level? Like, Tennant said his first acting job, he wanted to be the Doctor.
Maybe Matt Smith
was more, but she did once do an interview about... There's like an interview from 8 years ago where she was arguing about women in acting, and she said the problem with being an actor and being a woman is there's roles that you have to immediately discount. She went, I'll never, unfortunately, be able to play the part of James Bond or Doctor Who. They were the two ones she was thinking about.
Hashtag Jodie for Bond.
Jodie for Bond. Feel the amount of men who are already angry about vegan Greg's sausage rolls going, sure Jodie Whittaker as James Bond!
We've just triggered a whole host of people where if they ever watch it.
007, Jane Bond, it'll be amazing. But no, honestly, like, I think Jodie Whittaker, she came into the role, she changed things up.
Hi, Devin!
So it wasn't like you were rewatching... Hi, Devin. It's not like you were rewatching Peter Capaldi. It's not... So she did the job of, okay, she's made her own, she's dug her own trench, she's doing Jodie Whittaker.
Yeah.
It's not like she's recreating anybody else. She is in a cast where, of her 3 companions, 1 can act.
Oh, are you... I don't know. Hold on. Whoa. Hold on. Are you
Which one are we talking about, by the way?
Do you mean Ryan?
I always call him Brian. Is it Ryan?
Ryan.
I always call him Brian. Why do I call him Brian? What's Grandad called?
Bradley Walsh. But
Bradley
Walsh is my favourite.
Bradley Walsh is my favourite.
He's the only one who can act.
Ryan can act.
No, he fucking can't.
Yes, he can.
No, he cannot.
I completely understand what he's saying
He's
here.
not right, Doctor.
Are you telling me there's not people who speak like that? I think he's a very convincing...
I think he's the worst
I am 100%
that's ever happened to the TV show.
I'm 100%.
Right, we are going very off-piece right now.
Okay, so Jodie...
That's another podcast.
She not only has she done amazing things for women actors by, breaking the glass ceiling.
Fucking hell.
She's walked into a role of 55 years of male dominance, and the only women in the TV show, let's face it, were heavily sexualized quite a lot. And she's walked into it. She's taken the role as her own. She's standing in a series which is in its first season, and the first season of any new Doctor is not good.
It's always hard.
It's always hard as the first season.
I've even argued this because my argument was because for some people it's a stepping on point. I had this argument in work. One of the lads went, it wasn't scary enough. I went, you've got to understand it's a stepping on point. So some people take this as this opportune moment to get onto Doctor Who. You get kids who this is going to be like, this is perfect, we'll get you to watch Doctor Who. Now it's the first one. You can't make it scary right away. You make it kind of scary, but you can't go to the level of, you can't jump straight to Weeping Angels. You got to start off slow with Tim Shaw and stuff like that. Carry on, I get that.
In fairness, though, I know this isn't a Doctor Who podcast, and I would love to talk more about Doctor
There is a Doctor Who podcast on Nerdy.uk called At Time Lasses. Carry on.
Yes, but she was in a series where, in my opinion, the writing wasn't particularly strong.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my dad as well, because me and my dad, we always watch Doctor Who together. We've both agreed, I know, very strongly that every episode of the season has been... I walked out having a moral lesson forced down my throat, which I found...
This is again a separate podcast. I get what you're saying on that. I could argue a bit against that, but...
Okay, either way.
But we'll go. Jodie Whittaker.
She was the best part of the new season of Doctor Who.
I am
hands down.
You know what you've just done to win me over? It was that 50 years thing. Josh Brolin took on 2 character roles. Great. He did that. Another man could have done that.
Yeah, he did it with a penis. Which was at least 73% easier.
Yeah. Gaz.
I'm more than willing to
Who did you say again? Who did you say?
I honestly...
Ryan Reynolds. I feel like Ryan Reynolds has painted himself into a bit of a corner. Yours is...
I honestly, and this is why she's going to win it. I didn't even think of it.
I didn't.
Right.
I'm kicking myself.
Honestly,
but sexist.
Yeah.
No, it's because
white privilege.
I will tell you why. I didn't think of it. Because she's not gone around going, hi, I'm the first female Doctor. Hello, I'm the first female Doctor. She's not thrown it down our necks. It's not even made a big deal about it. She's like, in one episode, she has to deal with the fact she's in a time when women were not considered equal. And she's like, oh, I've not had this problem before.
But in the same episode, it's also an issue. African American people aren't equal, so it's not like look how hard it was.
She has not brought
it's
the focus
also
on
hard
that.
For all these people as well.
But that's the clever way to do it. You don't go, by the way, I'm the first female Doctor, don't you know? And go around to she said when people asked her about what's it like to be the first female Doctor, she's like, it's great, but I would like to talk about how I'm just the Doctor. I think if you're making a big thing about it, then it changes it belittles it. But it is a massive achievement that she has just done that. I am totally happy with that. What are you laughing at, you?
Sorry, just some of the comments coming through are genius. To be fair, so
what?
Ash just put Doctor Who is pants. That being said, Gaz, take your pants off.
Okay.
Thanks, Ash.
That could almost be a chat one.
And Dizzo has put Gaz is more than willing to give it to Jodie Whittaker.
Oh.
Thanks, you just undermined everything we've been saying.
Which is true.
I would like to point out Laura Louise, who is our friend Dan Libby's girlfriend.
Hi, Laura!
Hello! Has put, no one else think the Doctor Who episodes with her in are boring. Never end up with you wanting to watch the next episode. I agree.
I disagree.
I agree. There's a big chunk in the middle where there is a lot of boring episodes. Don't get me wrong, but I do not for a second think that she is the reason it's boring.
Yeah, and I
think I would say Chris Chibnall?
Chibnall, yeah.
Yeah, has gone, okay, I'm going to do the first and the last episode because you can see very much that they are the same director. And then everything in the middle is a mishmash of other people trying to get into the spotlight and doing their take and moral episodes. And I am going to admit, a lot of the season was boring in places, but I do not for a second think that it was Jodie.
The reason I would argue back on that as well is that I don't think that's true almost, is you watched the full season. By saying that, you've admitted you watched the full season. I found myself really dragging myself to watch Peter Capaldi. His
I
last
stopped
season,
watching.
you stopped watching, and I think
Doctor
Chris stopped
Who.
watching. The last season of Capaldi was where they finally pulled the thumb out and went, we can't have him and have this be his legacy. But I really found myself dragging myself. I have never felt like that with Jodie Whittaker.
No.
I've only just been apprehensive at best at what might come. Not
love-
bored at any point.
I love how understated it was, how they brought that into it as well. It wasn't like, oh my god, I'm a woman or anything like that. It was just, this is new.
Yeah, she went, oh, right, and carry on.
Yeah, exactly. It was perfect.
Yeah,
and
with you.
that suited it so much. And I'm more than willing to give it to Jodie Whittaker because I do think she's been. You think of how hard it must be.
Yeah.
You look at, like, I thought Peter Capaldi was going to be a knockout. When
Yeah.
it first got announced, I thought, this is perfect.
Perfect.
And it just didn't work. And then you think, when Jodie Whittaker got announced, I have to admit, I was very, I don't know, I'm not sure. And it honestly, within a couple of episodes, I was like, no, this works, man. She's got the right personality, she's got the right acting to go along with it.
I'm waiting here with this cock in my mouth. Can I just sort of... Oh, what the fuck? The winner of the Talk Nerdy Icon of 2018. I did not see us coming, but it's a totally great shout, and that's why I invited you here, you motherfucker. Is Jodie Whittaker.
Yes.
Fucking yes.
I completely what do people say? I'm so on
a lot of
very
love for
quickly.
Jodie
Oh,
Whittaker.
go on, go on.
Very quickly, I've just got one more point to make.
Hashtag Jodie for Bond is trending.
Right, my issue, we did best trailer, and I was very close to doing the Doctor Who trailer, just for the lines at the end of the only acknowledgement of the fact that the Doctor is now female is at the end. It comes up. It's about time.
It's about time, but it's a double
Which is
entendre
fucking
because
amazing because the show
it's
is
about time. Yeah.
And there was a huge break between the last season and this season, so it is about time Doctor Who came back. It was fucking phenomenal.
The marketing team did very well there. Very well.
So yeah, that's my again as well. Leading up to Doctor Who, I wasn't amazingly happy with Jodie Whittaker being announced, but that was simply because I really wanted Tilda Swinton to play the Doctor. I really wanted
No,
that. And I was a little
I
bit
think that would
disappointed.
have been wrong as
Oh,
well. I
fucking
mean, that's
Tilda
obviously another
Swinton.
subject, but I think Tilda Swinton would have been too big a name
Yeah.
to have really
Maybe.
truly.
I would have
pulled
looked
it
at
off.
the
I think
screen and been
Jodie
like, that's
Whittaker-
Tilda Swinton.
Jodie Whittaker's
Yeah.
perfect. This is the whole thing with Doctor Who is when they've gone for big names, maybe this was the problem with Peter Capaldi, was he was too big a name, he was too known for the thick of it to really pull it off.
With Matt Smith, what I loved about Matt
He
Smith
was-
is I didn't know him at all, and he
Exactly.
became the Doctor.
Tennant before Doctor Who.
I think, in my opinion, and this is because I was quite young.
Christopher Eccleston had done things,
Yeah.
But
and
nothing.
it didn't work. As
Yeah, but
well.
he hadn't done much. But I get what you mean. I did know him.
I would say probably the reason, and I know different podcast, different time. The reason for me that Peter Capaldi didn't work straight away was a mix of they went from Matt Smith, who all the young fans were like, he's young, he's oh god, I'm going to use a word that my mum uses. He's trendy. He's young. He's cool. He's only like he's bow ties are cool and all that sort of
In
stuff.
what context does your mum say trendy?
Oh, she says, "Oh, you look quite trendy." She bought me this tie because she thought it'd be trendy.
To be fair, you do look pretty trendy.
Oh, I love this tie. It's got guitars on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think going from Matt Smith, who, let's face it, was an attractive guy, and David Tennant before him, very attractive guy, and then they went to Peter Capaldi, who, for a young audience, wasn't well known. For an older audience, maybe. I mean, I knew him from Skins, and I knew him from
Peter
The Thick of
Capaldi?
It.
I didn't
Is
know
he in
him from
Skins?
Thick
Was
of
it?
It.
Sid's dad in Skins.
Is he?
Yeah, he
I
dies.
do not.
He dies in it, and my fucking
Spoilers.
God. Sorry, if you've not watched Skins, it came
Spoilers.
out in 2005.
I think-
2007, whenever
I
it
don't
came
think we
out.
can really recognise spoilers if it came out 10 years ago.
Casablanca, no spoilers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt I knew who he was, but no one I knew who he was.
Fair enough.
So I think they did the worst possible thing of, okay, let's get an older actor in and let's make the most childish season.
Yeah, I'm
Which
with you.
didn't gel, which is why Peter Capaldi, my favourite Doctor, I will point out, still my favourite Doctor, does not have a good season until his last season.
Last season. Go on.
Okay, so just obviously to update us all on the
We're going to go back to
media
you
aspect
right
of
now.
things. People are commenting on the fact that you look like Woody from Toy Story, JB.
What is this? What do you mean, Woody?
Woody from Toy Story.
It's
That's
because he
shit.
wears a vest and a yellow checkered shirt underneath
So
it.
you've gone for Kevin Smith, Batman type bat cap thing. People are just calling you Woody from Toy
Woody doesn't
Story.
have... Right, Woody doesn't have a beard. He doesn't even have a short sleeve. He has a long sleeve on. That's the worst frame of reference I've ever heard. I don't even think he has a waistcoat like this on. It's not even buttoned up, is it? That's shite. That's like saying, oh, you're like Buzz Lightyear because you've got a smaller head than me.
Don't
loving
worry.
how offended you are by being compared
Look at that!
to the greatest childhood character of all time.
I get it, but I've got a yellow checkered shirt on, but it's not even the same shirt.
I love how I came dressed as Tommy Wiseau.
And
then
I'm
commented
the
on
one-
how you look like Woody.
I just think that's like the word, like, whoever came up with that.
I also loved, quickly, just going back, you saying the word white privilege while wearing a cravat.
Yes.
and a velvet
Oh,
sports jacket.
Yeah.
No, he's right. He's totally right. Like, the only person I can picture saying white privilege, I mean black, is Carlton from fucking Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Like, fuck
Oh
me.
my god.
Brilliant.
Just to obviously sink that in deeper, my mother has commented on the fact that we would all like to give Jodie Whittaker one.
Oh, bloody hell.
Thanks, Pat.
Double entendre.
She's always there for me.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Pretty
So, we are down to the final two.
These are big now, right?
They
so
are.
we want to hear your opinions. Make sure you're commenting in. Comment to each other, whatever you need to do. But we're going to...
yeah.
Oh, and I'm also Fred from Scooby-Doo, by the way.
Yes, he is.
Thanks,
yes.
Ash.
Yes. Oh,
Thanks,
that
Ash.
is who said that?
Ash.
Ash. That is. Hold on. I feel like I need to put comment of the Talk Nerdies or something. I just want to put Fred from Scooby-Doo. I'm just going to write down Fred from
Oh
Scooby-Doo.
my god. Oh, that's funny.
Superb, Ash. Good film.
Superb. Absolutely great. The worst movie of 2018. This is like, raspberry, whatever you want to call it, Razzie.
Oh, wooden spoon.
Yeah, a wooden spoon. It's
However
not,
you want to describe
you
it.
do not want to win this award.
I mean, if you win this,
Do you win?
no one wins.
No.
We didn't win because of saying it, because we've obviously watched this shit.
Yeah.
So no one's won here. This is dark.
This is dark. And
This is dark.
it's going to get darker. So, the nominations for Worst Film of 2018 are... You're watching that.
Oh, fucking hell. My girlfriend just sent me a picture of her watch.
The worst film of 2018 nominations are The Predator.
Okay.
I've not seen my movie of nomination.
Oh, this can sometimes go against you.
I know.
We've held this against Chris
because
before.
I don't often seek out bad movies to watch. I've watched a lot of bad movies this year. I'll point out because
I feel like you're digging a hole.
yeah,
But
we watched a lot of movies that were intentionally bad, like The Room and Birdemic.
Yeah, but they didn't come out this year.
No. But this
Already,
year,
The Room, although it's bad,
Is
did you not
good.
enjoy it.
oh, I did enjoy it. I loved it.
Okay.
Um,
We are
but-
well off topic. Just say the nomination.
But my nomination is Holmes and Watson.
Okay.
Okay. And yours?
Crimes of Grindelwald.
Okay. I can work with this very easily.
And can I begin?
If you want to begin, you may begin, sir.
I'm going to begin. Crimes of Grindelwald is shite. Right? I'm not going to pull any punches here, right? We've already just done a podcast on this, so I'm not going to cover all territory. If you want to really listen to how infuriating this film made me,
We did a podcast.
listen to the podcast.
Spoilers.
It's on there now. But the thing that really upsets me about this movie is the fact that it didn't need to be made. I didn't actually mind the first one, but this one in particular, I'm going to cash in on Harry Potter, and I don't care how I'm doing it. That is literally how this film felt. It's not even about beasts anymore. The fact that it's called Fantastic Beasts goes out the fucking window, because there's no fucking beasts in it.
Mm-hmm.
And the storyline is like Jeremy Kyle has took over the plot of a movie and said, I'm going to write it now. And now brothers and sisters and mothers and fathers, we're all going to come into it, and I'm just going to fucking go nuts.
Right.
Sorry, just very quickly. I don't know if he's watching, but I've got a friend called Jack, right?
Hi, Jack!
Hi, Jack McKenzie, if you're watching, you're a cunt. I'm sorry, I don't even know if I can drop that word. Right. He has spoken to me this year about 2 movies. His favourite and his least favourite. His favourite was Crimes of Grindelwald. His least favourite was Predator.
This is outrageous.
In fairness, I've not seen Crimes of Grindelwald.
In fairness, Jack is blind.
Jack's point was, you need to disregard the first one as a setup movie for this one.
But I liked the first one!
See, he didn't like the first one, he liked this one.
What on earth is this guy doing?
What? Okay, I'm going to come in with I've took some notes already.
Jack, or whatever his name was.
Jack McKenzie.
I don't know him.
I hate him.
I don't get him.
No one gets Jack.
I don't understand.
No one understands what Jack is.
What is going on?
Right.
Jack is the butt of
I'm
every
kicking
joke
it.
of
I'm chipping in here. I'm going to argue back with the fact that you, with your own arguments, the Predator film, we didn't need it. It was nothing like the first one. It's a cash-in, and it's not even about the Predator, because, slight spoiler, but you can kind of tell from the trailer, another creature comes into it that isn't the Predator.
That's why Jack ate it.
Yeah, the Predator is and it's also made by Shane Black, who was in the first Predator. He was actually in the first Predator. If someone knows about this fucking franchise, it's him and Arnie. And he made this pile of shit that is just some weird comedy. It's a comedy, and it's the Predator. It's called, he's called it The Predator, almost to say, Predator, I'm better than that. This is The Predator. That prefixes it. That gives it this mass. There's a scene, and I'm not spoiling shit, by the way. There's a scene where it makes no sense. The Predator sees a van full of people. He needs to get in that van. He somehow knows he needs to be in that van, and wherever that van's going, he dives into the back of the van, killing everyone in the back of the van. The driver is unaware, for some reason, even though there's just a curtain between them, that everyone is being killed by a Predator. Even though he's doing like, blah, 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 and he's like, ah! He just shows him just like, they're not even moving, by the way. He just sat there listening to music. He then gets, like, the final death hits a bang on the fucking, by the way, if you listen to podcasts, that was a big bang. Sorry, I stopped the table. And there's a big bang, and he goes, you guys, is everything all right back there? The Predator picks up an arm that he's chopped off, pulls the thumb up, and pushes it through the curtain. So the guy thinks he sees a thumbs up and goes, you guys are crazy, and carries on. What the fuck is that about? How would the Predator have the concept of a thumbs up? How would he have the concept to know? Why would he not just kill the driver and drive the car, the van? Why does the guy not know people in the back are dying until there's just a bang? The whole film is like this. Shane Black just goes off on one, and there's Predator dogs, which they weren't before the film, and now they're in the film, and they're terrible CGI. There's giant predators, which should be scary, but they're not. They're just bigger, and there was nothing about this film that made sense at all. And he was in the film. He was in Predator. And visually, I'm very annoyed.
Do you know what? You're winning because, like, he was like, do you know what? It's not a great movie. You're like, it's not a fucking good
No, that your film, that you're talking about Grindelwald, was just complex and boring. Nothing that really angered
I
anyone.
would
The most you
rather-
could say is Dumbledore was portrayed by the wrong person, and therefore there's an unexplained aging, but could be explained in the 3 films that are going to come out of Fantastic Beasts, and with magic involved, isn't hard to believe. Your film was
Holmes and Watson.
Holmes and Watson, which you haven't seen, and all we know is that people just don't like it. And for all we know, that could be total garbage. That's totally subjective, and until you see the film, that doesn't count. That's why we always shoot down when that's done. I'm telling you right now, The Predator, with what came before it, Harry Potter included, Harry Potter set a precedent of what's expected and just gave boring. This set a precedent of what's expected with The Predator, and it just took a massive fucking shit on it.
But
it smeared cold mud on itself.
The only argument I have to this, right, is I would rather watch a bad Predator movie with good action in it, right? And I completely agree. It's not a perfect movie. I think I rated Predator about a 5 out of 10.
5!
5 out of 10. And it was one
5!
of those throwaway action movies that I can give and take. And
It's
blah,
not
blah,
throwaway,
blah.
it's
But
flush away.
Grindelwald actually annoyed me because
Right.
I feel like they're doing a disservice to the Harry Potter
And
franchise.
That is his defense.
The Predator isn't doing a disservice, and
I
man, think about it.
I
Think
would-
about the... Okay, here's my argument back to you. You said it's doing a disservice, but 2 things. 1, you are not the biggest Harry Potter fan anyway.
No, I'm
so
not,
by
I'm not.
you saying it's doing a disservice, you're just going, I found the other Harry Potter's okay. This one wasn't okay. The Predator is not only one of my favourite films, it is a favourite film by a lot of people. It is a classic.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I would say that if you take the Predator franchise, I would say, how many Predator movies are there?
There have been, do you want to call it can't include the Alien versus Predator ones because they were separate universes, don't count.
Yeah, but of Predator movies that have been made.
Predator, Predator 2, Predators, and The Predator. Now, Predator 2, yes, bad film, but not terrible. Predators, just boring. This was genuinely just a total shit on the entire thing and didn't make sense. This was like the episode 2 of Star Wars. It just didn't. Or some people might say it's a Last Jedi of what it is. It's
My point would be, I don't think, other than The Predator, the first one with Arnie Schwarzenegger, I do not think there is a good Predator movie.
yes.
Which is why I would argue that the precedent is less than Harry Potter.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Because no
Harry Potter is
Harry Potter
the
is
worst. man.
arguably the greatest
no.
movie franchise.
You're talking to the wrong guy. The Harry Potters, would you give any Harry Potter a 10 out of 10 and call it a stone cold classic? And would you write into Empire when they write down the top 10, top 100 best films ever, would you ever put any Harry Potter on that list?
That's nothing to do
I would've
with
put
worst
Predator on that
movie
list,
of
though.
the year.
Why would you not put Predator on that list? That invented the whole whole new genre.
That's
Yeah,
ridiculous, right?
but-
You're comparing it to something that's already been. I'm
Because
saying
it's linked
this
to
is
it.
the worst movie of the year, and I think Grindelwald was. Because
I don't think either are bad movies, but I've not seen. In fairness, I've not seen either of them. But I would say
You've
neither.
not seen any of the films.
No, I know.
Not even your own.
I know. I would, however, say that of both the films you've mentioned, neither of them are bad. They are just the worst of the year, which is the category.
Yeah.
It's worst movie. It's not the most bad movie. I would say neither film is probably, having not seen them, only read reviews and what you two have argued at each other over me.
Yeah.
I would argue that neither of you have made a strong enough point that they are
I will
bad
argue
movies.
that.
Apart from that fucking Deadpool-y thumbs up thing.
That's what I was about to say.
Which is the
I can
Deadpool
name a
thing.
scene. I can name a scene that shouldn't. Here are 4 things. What one of these should not be here? That scene should not be in that film.
Oh, yeah.
What scene should not? Should not, for categorical reasons to the franchise, not be in that film. You can say a scene should be in the
I
film because
would
it's boring,
bring
but what doesn't make sense?
Grindelwald,
Dumbledore
right?
looking
What
50
doesn't
years
make
younger
sense,
than
Magic,
right?
magic can
Okay,
happen.
so you're talking about the fact that Jude Law is Dumbledore, and
Yes.
I'm sorry, but it just doesn't fucking work.
In the next 3
I'm
films,
talking about the fact that Johnny Depp as Grindelwald is cringy. It doesn't
in the
work.
next 3 films,
I'm talking about the fact that, you know, one of the best things, and I'm talking about a film that I gave a 7 to, so I'm talking about the first film as being a 7, so it wasn't like a brilliant film, it was just an okay film anyway.
What did you give Predator?
Right? But I gave it a 5.
No, what did you give Predator?
5.
No, Predator.
Oh, the original.
Yeah, not the
Like
Predator.
8.
8. So already higher than what you've just started.
Could you?
Well, hang on, we're not talking about the original Predator.
Yeah,
we're
Predator.
talking about your Predator.
I
So if
fucking
we're
love
talking
Predator.
about your Predator that I've given a 5, the
Terminator
modern
2.
Predator, I gave a 5. I think it's a throwaway action movie. I don't think it does any disservice anywhere else. I think it's just a throwaway action movie, and that's it.
I feel really sorry for Dan here, because Dan's caught in the middle, because, I mean, you can try and argue Holmes and Watson, but you've not even seen it, so you can't really...
Okay, would you like to hear me even try?
Go on, yeah, you know what, this is a democracy.
Okay,
Free
here's
country.
my argument. I've not seen this movie. Okay. They took a character who has been established for well over 100 years.
Easily.
Has been portrayed by more actors than any other actor.
Has he?
Than any other character, sorry. That character has been portrayed by more actors than any other character ever
More than
created.
Robin Hood?
Yeah.
Really? Shit.
Yeah. Look up how many people have played Sherlock Holmes. It's fucking ridiculous.
Okay.
Right, okay, so you look at that. They went, okay, this very serious, drug-addicted man who is the smartest person in Britain. The only person smarter than him is his brother, who runs the government, right? These are the two cleverest people on the planet. And there's a doctor who goes along with them and documents what they're doing and is just happy to be there, right? Okay. All of these stories, hundreds of years of precedenting this character. And then they go, let's make a comedy version. Who should play the smartest man on Earth? Will Ferrell.
I get
Who
it.
should play his companion? The person who's always next to Will Ferrell. It doesn't matter that he can't play the role. Let's just put John C. Reilly in it because Will Ferrell's in it. What the hell?
I get your point, because I did think that.
And then they had the audacity to make it a bad movie.
I get it, but I think you'd have been better served putting this in worst trailer, because
Yeah.
none of us have seen it yet.
The thing is, the trailer, I didn't even think, the trailer wasn't good.
Trailer was terrible,
the
actually.
trailer-
When I think about it, I didn't laugh once, and made me realise. I remember when I saw...
Oh no, but it didn't make me not want to not watch the
No,
film.
the poster made me want to watch it.
Yes, that's what made me want to watch
The
it.
trailer made me go, I maybe don't want to watch this, because I didn't laugh once. What have people... I need to take a pee break.
Okay.
What have people said?
So people are
Do you wanna-
basically saying, where are we up
Yes,
to? We're talking about obviously worst film. So obviously we're going on about First Man. Vicky McCarthy, my lovely girlfriend, has put First Man, boring, searching, boring, and some odd film that Gaz made me watch. I can't remember the name of.
Do you know what,
I
she's
know
talking
what
about?
she's on about. She's on about Hereditary.
I've
I
not
don't know
seen
whether you've seen
Hereditary
it.
in fairness.
Now I thought
Right.
this was brilliant.
Okay.
I thought it was great. Like, it's a weird film. It's a very weird. I really
That's
like.
Jay shouting.
quite
A lot of people
odd-
think it's amazing. From
I
this one.
quite like odd films, and this one was particularly odd.
See, I like odd films.
She
as well.
didn't like it at all. But
That
you know,
happens-
she,
that happens
she
a lot.
mentioned First Man. I think First Man, it needs to be fucking mentioned. This should have been one of those films where you think about Apollo 13. It's a film about the space race, kind of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a film, you know, and this was Neil Armstrong's biopic. You thought, well, that should be exciting to a certain degree. First Man on space, whether you believe it or not. Regardless.
Yeah.
And it just came across as very, very dull.
Right. Okay.
You watched it and you thought, I'm really not entertained by this. And you got out of the movie just kind of going, alright.
I'm remembering it now because I couldn't. I was like, how have I missed this movie? But I think
Yeah.
I remember it now. Who played Neil Armstrong?
Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling.
And
that's
he
it.
is one of mine. Usually, when I watch a Ryan Gosling movie, he's one of my guys who never fucking fails.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Like every time I see a movie, it seems to be, oh, Ryan Gosling's in it. Well, that's fucking brilliant. And this one just did not work at all.
Yeah.
And I find it
I think
hard to believe that they managed to make the moon landing boring. Whether you believe it or not, how do you make that boring?
I think
Yeah,
what-
I kind
and,
of agree.
well-
I've not seen the movie. I can't comment.
I find the
Yes.
moon landing boring anyway. Have you watched that? It's not really
We've had
that
a few
interesting.
people saying Bird Box was a
Yeah,
massive
full step.
letdown.
No!
I actually think Bird Box is a massive letdown
Was
myself.
Bird Box 2018 or
Purely
No, yeah, it was
because
yeah, no,
it comes out in the same year as A Quiet Place, which was brilliant, and
Also,
the same,
similar premise.
the
I hadn't
same
thought of
kind
that.
of concept,
I hadn't
right?
even thought of that.
But
that
it's
is-
about hearing rather than sight, and I think the hearing aspect of it was far better than the sight aspect of it. And I also think Bird Box was let down by the massive amount of like, oh, this is the most scary film you're ever gonna see.
I don't think it was
that
scary.
Netflix seemed to have like an ownership over fucking Google
I've
News
not
or
watched A
something.
Quiet Place. I've not watched A Quiet Place, but what I would say is about Bird Box, what for me was the harrowing, I think scary is the wrong word, but the most harrowing, despondent part of that film, and really made me kind of like look inwards, was the suicide part of it. Like something is so scary or so, it makes you just give up everything and just calmly climb into a burning car and not even scream from the pain. I actually thought that was a really clever concept. I liked.
In fairness, that is.
And
that
it
is
was
clever.
really scary, the fact I watched it on New Year's Day and then had to drive somewhere, and on the way I had to stop at a petrol station that was self-service in a massive car park, and I was the only one.
So
And I
it's
looked
put-
around and was like, this is
where it
horrible.
happened.
This is
This
what
was it.
happened. Yeah. I was like, do I blindfold myself? Do I do this?
In my opinion, I've weirdly not seen anybody reviewing Bird Box. I've seen people talking about it, but I've not
Yeah.
seen anybody on
Proper reviews.
Facebook say it's either good or bad. Everybody I've asked has gone, it's all right.
I
No
Instagrammed
one's,
it.
no one's gone, it's amazing. No one's gone, it's terrible. Everyone's gone.
It's got flaws,
got
but I let it off
I
because
thought it
of.
was okay, but
Yeah.
I just don't think
I thought it was
if
very
you're going
good
to come
actually.
out in the same year as A Quiet Place, you need to do something remarkable.
And
And I think A Quiet Place was brilliant because the concept of it was really, really good.
I still
was
haven't
it
watched
directed
that.
by
then-
John Krasinski as well?
I'm not
No,
sure.
no,
I'm
Quiet
sure
Place.
or am I thinking of a different thing?
Oh, is that the guy from The Office?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
to
so
go
he didn't
over
do
a
Bird
few
Box, but he did-
others.
Yeah.
No, that's what I meant.
Yeah,
He-
yeah,
he
yeah,
wrote-
yeah.
He directed and starred in
Yeah. Go
We've
on.
got a few others. We've got Annihilation was gash. I'm not
Not
too
watched that
sure.
Which one was Annihilation?
I
I
need to
want
watch
to.
the
I can
movie,
see the
so.
title.
Peter Rabbit's come up again.
Who
Holmes and
wants Pe-
Watson
Oh.
has been
Oh, that's
malevolent.
Oh, that's the other thing.
Malevolent.
Is that this year?
Yeah, that was this year, mate. I've heard a few people say
Game
Malevolent.
I'm
Over
thinking
Man
of-
was another letdown.
Oh, no!
I actually really thought that was quite
I
a
liked
good
that.
comedy
Yeah,
movie.
it was just. It
So,
is what it
Before
was.
we go on to best movie, I really need a pick.
Do you know what one that's not come up,
What?
and I've also not seen because I refuse to watch it. Not because I've just not got round to it, but because I
What? Holmes
absolutely.
and Watson.
Well, I've not seen Holmes and Watson. I do actually want to see Holmes and Watson to see how bad it is. But there's one movie that came out this year that the second I saw the trailer for, the trailer wasn't bad. It just portrayed a terrible movie. Was The Meg.
Now that was one of those ones that I think Gaz will disagree. It was one of them. It's tongue in cheek, like Snakes on a Plane. I think that was meant to be the point.
I get it was meant to be tongue in cheek, but if I was doing a tongue in cheek movie, I wouldn't cast fucking Jason Statham.
Oh, I
to play
would.
the lead role.
He's like the one below the Rock. I would do that. Jason
Yeah,
Statham.
that's the thing. He's the one below the Rock.
It's like back in the
He's
80s.
not Ryan Reynolds.
No,
or
but back
something like
in
that
the
who
80s,
sort of acknowledged that it
Sylvester Stallone was the Rock, and what's the guy who was like, if he dies, he dies.
Dolph Lundgren.
Dolph Lundgren is the Jason Statham of the 80s. That's the same level. I would put that.
Who's Arnie then?
Arnie. What our modern Arnie now? Who's our modern Arnie? Oh, why
He's
did
a
you?
fucking bodybuilder who just does shit.
Well, that's the Rock, but he's more the
Yeah, but the Rock
Stallone.
can, the
He's
Rock
the
can
Stallone.
act. The Rock can
Arnie
act.
can't act, can he?
Arnie can't. No,
Who
he
the
can't
fuck
act.
is our modern day Arnie? Is it not still Arnie, technically?
I mean, maybe it was last
I think he's so-
started.
He's still
Right.
been in quite a bit. I want to point out,
Tossing Cole.
Liam-
That's Arnie.
Liam-
Tossing Cole.
Liam David has put a very good rebuttal to yours.
Yeah.
I see your Holmes and Watson and raise you Sherlock Gnomes.
Oh, that is a point. That is a point. In fact,
That is brilliant.
I absolutely. I put my foot down. Me and Jazz weren't watching that. Not on movie night. That was
Liz has put that Jason Statham is on her list. I don't know what that list is.
I'm assuming by context The list is the people outside of your relationship you're allowed to be with.
Okay.
Usually that's what
Hey,
it means.
James Downthorne, thank you for tuning in. That's great.
Bibby's in.
Daniel Bibby.
Channing Tatum, he's called it. That's the new Arnie Schwarzenegger.
Oh, yeah, that
He's
is
fucking
actually,
called
that's
it.
really
You've
good.
absolutely
That
called
is
it.
totally good. This is why it's Dan Bibby and the Aesthetic Knobs. By the way, we're in a band with Dan Bibby, and we're his backup band, the Aesthetic Knobs. But this is why this guy's in charge. That is a total shout.
It is.
The Channing Tatum is the Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It never occurred to me that's how beautiful that is.
I want to say though, I want to see his Channing Tatum and possibly raise him going forward. John Cena.
Oh, in fairness, yeah, because John Cena's getting into acting now.
Yeah. John
That's a point.
Cena.
That's a point. Bodybuilder went on to do acting.
Yeah.
But no fucking Channing Tatum is a shout. He's even got a weird name as well.
Yeah, he's got the Channing Tatum.
Oh, Fiverr says Channing Tatum's our president
Right.
But not our
Channing
president.
Tatum. Channing Tatum. So, I mean, where do we stand with this? I feel like we've come to the end now of the worst movie.
We've decided that Channing Tatum's the Arnold Schwarzenegger of modern day.
I can agree with that.
Where do we stand? So, what was your worst movie? Was what?
My worst movie was Crimes of Grindelwald.
Your worst movie is
Holmes and Watson, but I
mine's-
totally get that that's not going to win because I've not even fucking
okay. If do you lean anywhere?
I would. Here's the thing. I've not seen either film. However, if I was to go home tonight and watch one of those movies, I would watch your one. Because
but I think
have
you'd be
some
more
interest in it.
disappointed by that.
I probably would. However, I would rather. I get that there's an action factor in Predator, and here's my issue with the whole Predator franchise is simply that the first movie I will give you is a good movie. I do like the first Predator movie.
Perfect.
It is a good movie. The second one is a big step down.
Yes, it
The
is.
third one, they try and step it up by, they've gone, oh, we've got better CGI now. I mean, there's that freaking scene where a predator rips somebody's spine out.
I haven't watched all the way through because honestly, I got to the bit where, oh god, what's his name? The guy that Samuel L. Jackson got mistaken for. From Matrix.
Yeah, Morpheus from Matrix.
Morpheus from Matrix. Who's he played by?
He's
got a weird.
Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne.
Thank
Yeah.
you, yeah.
So by the time he was coming on, I was really tired, and then he started speaking. I was going, well, I'm already sleepy, and then I just turned it off because there hadn't been any predators. So.
Yeah, I think as well, Predator has just been a constant kind of decline. You know, a film series is in trouble when the most interesting things about it are its extended universe. You know, so
The Alien versus Predator.
Fantastic
Predator.
Beasts
That
to
is an
Harry
extended
Potter.
universe. That is an extended universe, though. Like my point is that, like, if I go Predator and I walk into Forbidden Planet in Liverpool and I go, okay, I want something Predator, I'm gonna spend a lot of time before I find something from a Predator movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find books about it, board games about it, games about it. I'm gonna find models of it. There will even be models from the movies, but they're not gonna be from the original Predator movie. There'll be promotional things from the new one that have been sent out.
Yeah.
You know, the comic books and the books have a deeper, richer lore for Predator than the movies do, and it's a movie franchise. That's my issue with it.
Okay.
So that's probably why I think it's worse.
Oh.
So I am leaning to.
I was predicting. I
We
would
can
win
go
this.
for that. We can go
I
for it.
was predicting to win this. I'm not gonna lie because when I get annoyed, I know that I often win. So
Yes, I would agree.
worst movie franchise.
There's
Worst.
been a few people saying the Meg
I thought the Meg.
is so shit, but it's actually good.
Yeah, it is good.
Annihilation, by the way, which one I discounted before, was not seen. I have actually seen. It's one with Natalie Portman in it. It was like a sci-fi.
Oh, now
type
that
thing.
isn't that interesting?
I actually quite like.
I wouldn't mind. I want to point this out. I follow. There's a really good YouTube movie reviewer called Chris Stuckman. Very, very good movie reviewer. He's just down to earth, dead intelligent, but dead funny. And he's where I get the term phantom menacing from. He invented that. He coined that term. So you know when you go to see a film and you like it, and then it's years later you go, I didn't really like the film. I just got taken into it. Yeah, yeah.
And Phantom Menace, yeah.
Yeah, he calls it Phantom Menacing. He's very good. He put that in his top films of the year and just said it got really panned, and he disagrees.
Annihilation,
it was Annihilation. He put that, but I have heard some people put it as the worst film of the year. I haven't watched it. I really want to watch it now because it's very divisive. This
Annihilation.
Yeah,
I
think
thought,
it's on Netflix
I thought
as
it was
well.
quite good. I think the problem with Annihilation is that like a lot of people like towards the end it goes very left field. It might be something. I can see why people would go, oh fucking hell, it's just lost it completely. But I actually thought it was quite good.
So,
can I just quickly read out my favourite comment of the night, which is simply, when does Dan's bladder get an award?
It's very true.
I peed before, and
he's peed now.
Okay, if anybody's interested, I made it from my hotel in New York City, which was in Times Square. I made it from there to my home in Southport without peeing, which was what a 12-hour journey, something like that.
And that's just tonight. The guy flew all the way from New York to be here tonight.
I have one strong bladder.
Any thoughts on Bumblebee?
I haven't seen it. I've actually heard good. I've heard real good stuff.
I've actually got a Bumblebee badge on my coat that I've come in here with.
I've heard real good stuff though.
Yeah, I went to the cash cow, but everybody seems to have quite liked it a lot more than the one.
Because it's not what's the name of him? I don't dare. He's like Voldemort to me. I don't like saying his name.
Mark Wahlberg?
No, the guy who directs all the Transformers films.
Oh shit, Michael Bay.
Yeah, it's not Michael Bay.
Explosions.
Yeah. So the winner of worst movie, if you call it winner, is The Predator.
Hey, I'm glad I moved.
So we are on the final topic, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for staying with us this long. The final topic, the big one.
Oh, we just lost one.
We all know. That's all. I only want to see his worst movie. Don't get a shy about the best. The best movie of 2018. And
I also think we're going to agree on this one.
Okay.
But I don't know for certain.
I don't think we will. I don't think we will.
You don't? Okay.
I don't think we will.
I think you know what mine is.
I might know, but the best movie...
I just know I'm not going to win this.
Oh, sorry. Are you going to pick a documentary?
Yeah.
No.
Robert Redford's The West or something.
Best movie of 2018. Nominations are... Bohemian Rhapsody.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Bad Times at the El Royale.
Has that come out this year?
Yeah.
Right, I thought it was coming out next.
I'm going to go first. I want to point out right away that none of us have picked Avengers Infinity War. So bravo to all of you. I think it's a very obvious choice, but there's a very obvious reason why not to do it. You want to go for a standalone, something that you don't need to back up with. The reason I'm going to pick Bohemian Rhapsody above all else is this movie genuinely, and no exaggeration, this movie genuinely brought me to tears. There was a few times I was holding it back. By the time Freddie's walking on stage for Live Aid, I was just crying. I was just watching it, enjoying it, but crying, tears down my face. By the way, the last act is about 15 minutes of them on Live Aid. I just cried for 15 minutes, and then once the credits are rolling, 5 minutes. I cried for 20 minutes straight because it made me realise that this guy who I always was told as a child, brought up, that he was just the best frontman ever. He was the happiest guy, he was just the epitome of British, frontmen. Was actually a Pakistani guy who was gay, which I did. By the way, I did know he was gay before I went to watch the film.
He's from Madagascar.
Madagascar. He really suffered at the hands of the media at the time. Wasn't very happy at all. Quite lonely, and then. I've always just kind of, it sounds mad, but I've almost discounted his AIDS. I know it sounds mad, but I almost kind of like when Freddie Mercury got AIDS, it's almost like a fact. And I've never even considered the person of Freddie Mercury got AIDS. And this made me kind of like not see that as fact, see that as like something that happens to someone. And I walked out of that film crying, realising how much I love Queen, it's not like I've went around saying I hate Queen, but I love Queen. And I'm going to probably book in this year for a Freddie Mercury tattoo. I'm honestly, I've
hang
not
on.
been moved to tears
Right.
that much in any
Bullshit,
way.
Just
right?
quickly, have you seen
Can
Frank
I-
Turner's Freddie Mercury tattoo?
No.
It's fucking banging. He's got Freddie Mercury on one side and Elvis Presley on the other, but it's really nice. Check it out. For inspiration. It's
Is
really
it? Okay.
What are
It'll
you
go, it's
gonna
crazy.
have as a Freddie Mercury tattoo?
I would
Stop.
have.
FYI.
I would have kind of almost. It's either going to be the main one of him doing that, or
Where are you gonna have that?
what?
Forearm?
It depends.
And
depends.
in what detail? you
Why
know?
is this? Hold on. Sorry.
I hate tattoos.
That's
when-
got nothing to do with your
You
argument.
were
needs
talking to two very heavily tattooed.
Yeah, tattoo people.
I don't hate tattoos, right?
You just said you hate
What?
tattoos. Fake news.
You
We're
stopped-
recording.
you
We
s-
know you.
You stopped me before I'd finished, right? I hate tattoos when it's like the face of someone or something like that.
But that's got nothing to do with what we're talking about.
That's
So,
alright.
Talk about your film.
That's a cartoon. I don't mind this, right? You've not got
That's
like
a face.
right. What I'm saying is, right. So
I
if
know
you're
what
gonna
you're
get like Freddie Mercury's face, like detailed tattoos.
No,
on
no,
it.
I don't
no,
like
no.
them.
I
You
said
know what I mean?
I'm gonna have Freddie Mercury
Someone
tattoo.
on a program the
portrait.
other night
A portrait.
had Mother Teresa's face, and she was saved by Mother Teresa, which is fair enough, right?
Yeah.
She had that tattooed on her leg, and I still found it distasteful.
In fairness, a portrait is really fucking hard to get
Yeah.
right.
And
That's the issue with.
I
with
feel like we've
portrait
really
tattoos.
gone off piece here. We're
Oh, yeah,
talking
we
about
are.
the best film.
Yeah,
and we're
no,
talking about
right.
tattoos.
Let's go back on it.
Yeah. Well, talk about your film. I've just said why Bohemian Rhapsody should win Best Film. It's a
think
film that moved me
Bohemian
to
Rhapsody
tears.
is brilliant. I told you that before. I thought the soundtrack was absolutely phenomenal. I thought it was a good representation of Queen. I think, personally, though, that the best soundtrack was Bad Times at the El Royale.
We're not talking about best soundtrack. Best film.
Well, best movie was...
How pissed are you? Sorry,
hang on.
did everyone see this? How pissed is Gaz? Where he's talking about the
Well,
best
it was.
So
soundtrack.
for best soundtrack, you went Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
For best movie, you're going what you went with for best trailer, not the movie you went with for best,
Best
soundtrack.
Because
Track.
it was actually brilliant, though. Like, as much as I am, I'm a bit pissed.
I would also like to point out, hey Dad, my dad was just put into the chat. Have any of you seen him live? By the way, my dad went to see Queen.
No,
live,
why would you say? Of course I've not. Why would
was
you
it
say that?
Manchester? I think you went.
I was like 4-3 when he died. You
This
were just,
is one
you
of
were just
these-
a glitch in
Oh,
your
no,
dad's eye.
that's just my dad rubbing in that he's seen.
I
Queen
know,
live.
Jesus
he
Christ.
does it. He's also seen David Bowie live.
Oh,
This
He
is
loves
one
that,
of
you know.
those
Yeah, but David
dad
Bowie died
things. My
recently.
dad used to do this
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah, but I still never
I
seen
used
it.
to always say, right, I've been seeing this guy. And I'd be like, yeah, I know, Dad. Nice one. Cheers. Thanks. Nice one. I'll never see him.
I saw the Who Dad.
Can I point out that since I brought this up, you have had nothing to do but talk about my film. You have not talked about yours. I really feel like I've already just won.
What do you mean?
Well, I've said best film, Bohemian Rhapsody. You have not even talked about your films. You just took busy discussing.
No,
even
right,
discussing
okay.
Even
my-
when you went
I
to
got-
talk about your film.
I got very
You said best
confused
soundtrack.
because I
Yeah.
went back into soundtrack mode because you started talking about Bohemian Rhapsody.
That is
And
the
I
film.
immediately thought about Bohemian Rhapsody, about how good a movie it was. The
Mm.
music.
Mm.
And I said...
Oh.
Anyway, right, so, like, Bad Times at the El Royale is the best movie of this year.
Why? I
By
don't
a
know
country
anything
mile,
about it.
because,
Why?
like, you
Hang on,
have
I'm
to...
gonna see
Well,
this rating
like,
on
has
IMDb.
anyone
Out of interest.
actually seen it yet?
Has anyone seen what's it called? Fast Times at
Bad
Ridgemont High.
Times at the El Royale.
Bad Times at the El Royale.
This was like
It's got Jeff
watching.
Bridges. It's rated 7.2, which is alright. I'd watch it.
That's not
Hey.
all right rating that. It's not really.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to say to you is, this is as close as I got to the feeling when I first watched Pulp Fiction. That's a high
You're
accolade.
saying that
this
to
not-
the
That's
saying
a
that to
high
the wrong
accolade.
person, mate.
I know you don't like Quentin Tarantino, JB, and I think you've been wrong about that for many a year. But I think this is as close as anyone has come to a Quentin Tarantino-like film, and they have nailed it. It was perfect. It had the soundtrack, it had the action. Jeff Bridges was in it. You had Oh, it was just so fucking good. It was just, you need to watch it.
It sounds very much to me like, was it called Hotel Armistice or something like that?
No, I don't know that,
I'm just.
Artemis, the Hotel Artemis. I've just read the plot for the other one, which is strangers meet at a hotel. They all have a secret past. The plot for Hotel Artemis is Hotel Artemis follows a nurse who runs a secret members-only hotel for criminals. They sound very, very similar, but having read the plot, I'd rather watch Hotel
I mean,
Artemis.
I'm just gonna point out.
You need to watch this movie. It is brilliant, and the actual.
Yeah, well, I'll argue this. So I'm just going to go into what you guys are putting out there right now. So I've got Black Klansman, says Adam Disley, or Sorry to Bother You. I haven't seen Sorry to Bother You.
I'll tell you what, right? Sorry to Bother
to.
You is a fucking phenomenal film. Like, I honestly really like that film. It's literally, like, I think it taps into something that no one else has tapped into yet. And oddly enough, like, it was perfect for me because I was just starting a job in a call centre. And it was basically about a guy in a call centre, so I saw a lot of similarities there.
7 out of 10 rating. Decent
I mean,
movie.
it's
got Terry Crews in it.
Black Klansman. I'm not going to lie. I really didn't like Black Klansman.
I loved it.
I thought it was dead cheesy. I thought it was better. If that had been made in 1993, I'd be like, yeah, prolific. But
premise.
The premise is great.
Fantastic.
But it was really like,
and the marketing was really good.
The marketing was great, but
the
I
whole
wanted to
Black
see
Klansman when they
I
put
just
the other K between the two
but I
hats.
just didn't.
I honestly
didn't really like it.
I loved Black Klansman.
I felt like it
I
was
thought
like
it was brilliant. I thought it had the right amount of humour, the right amount of drama in it, and I thought the message towards the end was something.
I think
that,
it changed. It changed tone too much. I was expected to be like horrified, but then like a scene later, I'm expected to have this real like humor, like almost comedy, like slapstick side to it. I didn't get it.
I don't buy that. I think that's the type of movie that in 20 years people go, "Oh, do you remember Black Klansman?" I honestly think it's that type of movie. It had that type of message in it. The whole iconic scene of like where it comes down that corridor towards the end.
Oh, that's so bad. I hated that.
That for me was
Scrubs.
I
yes,
loved
it sounded like it was 15 or 20 years too late. Regan Hodgson put Gaddafi did nothing wrong. Again, that's a joke that has gone on far too long. Dan, Bibby's put, I love how levered Gaz is, but you love the fact he just fucking wet himself.
He's just spilled his strong dark fruits all over himself. Do you know what? It's really funny because it's the second time I've met him and he's fucking lathered. It's really funny.
Liam David has put, for your consideration, Isle of Dogs. I think it was a really good film, but I wouldn't put it as the best. Ready Player One, not a chance. Have you read the book? You can fuck off. And
the only thing I will say about Ready Player One, right, and I know
everyone stopped talking about it because it was just average as fuck.
We disagreed about it, but I still think it's a good movie.
Leave Ernest Clive alone. Is it Ernest Clive?
Yeah.
I still think it's a good movie. I honestly do. I think it's a good movie. I don't think it was the best movie of the year by a country mile. I think it was a good movie of a good book.
Did you not like the book?
I loved the book.
Right. Okay.
It was totally disappointing.
From what I've heard, I've not seen the movie because I'm reading the book currently, and I want to wait until I finish.
You are going to read the book, and by the end of it, be like, this was great. This was such a journey. My mind has made the perfect film in my head, and you're going to go watch the film and be like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I'm very aware that it's completely different to the book. It's
the
same premise.
This is the difference, though, right? It's like if you go into this film thinking, oh well, it's going to be the book. It's not the book. It's nothing like the book. It is like Jurassic Park. This is the only thing I can compare it to.
Yeah, to be fair.
It's a very similar thing. When Jurassic Park, the book, was out and everyone started going on about the film, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not, like, privy to, like, the fact that I was that old. Do you get what I mean? But it's if you try and read Jurassic Park compared to the movie, it's so fucking different. Right, and this is the same thing. He's basically just took the book and gone, how can I put this into a film aspect? He's made it his own. And I think if you just completely go, right, if you've read the book, you're automatically going to go, shit, I don't like it.
Yeah,
It doesn't look
I
like the
Yeah,
book.
point out, this is such a rabbit hole. You've said, who recommended this again? Liam, you've sent Gaz on this whiskey rabbit hole with Ready Player One. That's amazing. I get where you're coming from, but we talk about it on a podcast. We kind of on a separate plane there. Go on.
Out of interest, have you read Armada?
No, I have not.
It was his follow-up book, and it is...
Is it connected?
No, but it's exactly the same. It's Guy Saves the World with video games.
Right. Okay.
It's
Why is it
the
not
idea is that this game gets released into the public, and everybody's playing it and loving it. But actually, what it turns out is that the game isn't actually a video game. It's a simulation to find the best fighters to defend Earth against this alien species that's invading. And the protagonist is like 5th in the world, so he always thinks he's not the best. But then it turns out that like the top 5 are actually like RAF agents who have been trained by the government.
And he's just a regular guy.
And he's just a regular guy who's just like really fucking good at this game, and he gets taken to do it, and there's lots of twists and stuff like that. But I read it and I went, all right, okay, fair enough, that was all right. And then I started reading Ready Player One, and I went, this is just like
Very
Armada.
similar.
And then I googled it and I was like, oh, this was first. So Armada's the rip-off, not this. I actually gave Dan Bibby a copy of Armada because I got sent to by mistake, and I don't think he ever read it. Because
Well, Dan Bibby can't read. It's a fact. Solo. A
what?
Star-
I you say Dan Bibby can't read.
Solo, a Star Wars movie. That I'm not gonna
Someone
lie.
put that as the best movie.
Someone's put that. Liam's put that as the best movie of
Somebody put
2018.
Jurassic World
So,
earlier.
yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was a good movie, very underrated. I think it got a lot more crystal panning than it needed to. It was almost like cool to diss Solo, but.
Can I just tell you? Right,
Oh God, why do I have a feeling we're gonna find out how you owned a farm or something? But go on.
Right, I gave 3 films this year a 9 out of 10,
Go on.
and I'm very harsh with my ratings.
I'm assuming one of them is gonna be.
Obviously, one of them is Bad Times at the El Royale.
What were the other
which I've
two?
just given. I Love Dogs,
Okay, that he put that.
Infinity War.
Yeah, why has no one said Infinity
And
War?
why
I
is
Here's the
really.
thing, I don't think Infinity War is an amazing movie. I think they distract you from the fact that it's a good movie. Do not get me wrong, it is a very good movie. It's a great movie, but I don't think it's year worthy. I think the reason everybody kind of goes, "Oh, it's amazing," is because they did the simple of, "Oh no, we've got nothing. Oh, let's kill off all the characters," which I know is based from the comic books. It's not like they've gone,
right.
we need to make it interesting. But you've got to admit, it is a trope now that you go, "Oh, I've not got an ending. What do I do? I'll kill off all the characters." Oh, it's actually amazing.
The reason why you shouldn't put Infinity War as the best movie, but I am surprised people haven't,
Because
is
of the
is because of the priors.
17
You,
movies,
all the movies we've said are straight up. You could now, if you got your parents, and went, I want to show you a great movie, and put on. I put on Bohemian Rhapsody. You put on
Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse,
Which I'll get to talk about eventually.
Yeah, that's a good point. And you put on Fast Times at Ridgemont High, or whatever the fuck it's called.
Bad Times at the El Royale.
Bad Times at El Royale. All of those are singular films. You don't have to explain anything. The person just watches it, enjoys it. If you put Infinity War on, you have to be there as being, that's referencing this. That's referencing that.
He's this guy.
He's this guy, yeah. So, again, I'm just kind of go through these more people. The Tale, I have no idea. Never heard of it. The Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Sounds
right,
amazing.
and
I heard.
I can talk about this because I really fucking love it. By the way,
Okay.
right, is basically like
Hi, Calvin.
it's like a 6-part.
Oh, Calvin.
Every chapter's different. It's like a Western type thing. So every single chapter is a different story. It's not like the whole story's the same all the way through. And I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. It's the Coen brothers doing Western stories, basically. So, you know, you've got like a particular chapter where James Franco is like a bank robber. And it's one of those very hard to describe because of the fact that it's so different. So, you know, you're not going to get anything other than the fact that, you know, James Franco is a bank robber, and I don't know how to describe it because, like,
Because you're drunk. Because you've had a whiskey. Because 3 feet to the wind. That's why. But I get it. But Jesus Christ.
What I mean is, right, is it's hard to describe because there isn't an iconic storyline all the way through it. It's the fact that it's just good stories 6 times out.
It's like
so
a short
each
story,
one
isn't
is
it?
different.
Mm.
So one of them is really funny. It starts with like a musical piece. It's proper musical. It's just like an old gunslinger who's like starting to sing Western
Hi, Abby!
guitars. And then the next one is James Franco being a bank robber. And then the next one is like 2 people in a coach and it's dead dark. So each one is a separate entity. It's not like, the Ballad of Buster Scruggs is a comedy. Because it's not, because some of it is dramatic.
I want to jump forward.
It's just hard to
Is
describe.
James Franco Buster?
I'm watching myself on this power.
Buster Scruggs is literally the first character you meet. He's like the guy he's the musical aspect to it. He is just like a guitar playing guy who you get the feeling like he's the best like shooter in town, and then he dies.
Brilliant.
No spoilers.
He dies.
No, because like it's not a spoiler because that's just one chapter.
A Star is Born.
Like, suddenly at the end.
A Star is Born. Abigail Robinson has put that. A Star is Born. That's a very good shout. I did really enjoy that film. What was very enjoyable about that for me and for Eve, that I watched it with, was, as Eve pointed out, this is actually a film that's been adapted
twice.
Oh no, a lot more.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I know this is at least the second time.
I'm not going to say it was this amount, but Eve doesn't exaggerate too much. But Eve, when she saw it, went, "Oh my God, that's been done 27 times." She was very familiar with the story and didn't have any. She was like, "I like both these people, but whatever." We both walked away from it going, "That was phenomenal."
What I will say about A Star Is Born is I didn't expect to go into the cinema that day and see the reaction of the crowd, right? And that is something that you can't take away from any film. But I was in the audience.
It's gonna win Best Picture, isn't it?
I was in the audience that day, and you see like how many people. I know you're fucking saying.
I'm talking to the crowd. I'm just saying, we've got people saying.
Comment.
Anyway,
I can comment, can't I? Yeah.
Anyway, right, but no, seriously though, like that is one of the first movies I've watched in a long time where you saw people basically say that, like, they were crying at the end.
You know who was crying at the end of a film? Me, at Bohemian Rhapsody. Oh, brought it round back to me. But can we get? I think Dan needs
to the fucking Spider-Verse.
Dan hasn't remotely spoken about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Dan, the floor is yours.
Right, okay. If anybody knows me, I'm a massive Spider-Man fan.
Show the arm.
I have a tattoo of Spider-Man on my arm that I got done in New York City just because I'm that obsessed with Spider-Man. I have controversial opinions about the Spider-Man movies. I don't rate the Tobey Maguire ones that high. I actually really like the Andrew Garfield ones. Homecoming was fucking phenomenal. This is the best Spider-Man film I've ever seen.
Yes, it is.
It is the best Spider-Man film that has ever been made. They fucking reference the Tobey Maguire ones, and they take the piss out of it as well.
Yeah.
The movie, not giving any spoilers away. I think it's still in cinemas.
It is still in cinemas. I'm not gonna lie. I'm going to see it tomorrow. For the second time.
I would go and see it again because I went and saw it with my 8-year-old nephew. And my 8-year-old,
Hi, Julie!
My 8-year-old nephew Lucas is also really into Spider-Man. He watched it the first time and he didn't really like it for specific reasons.
Is he racist?
No, he's not racist. His dad's...
His dad's racist. Is he racist? No, but his dad is...
His dad is mixed race. So his
so it's hypocritical.
I think his grandfather is.
Maybe,
anyway. He watched the movie. He wasn't a massive fan. I needed somebody to see it with, so I asked him if he'd go, and he agreed to go with me again. I walked into it having seen 5 or 10 minutes of it at the end of the Venom trailer.
Yeah.
And went, I don't really want to watch that movie.
I know, yeah. I get you that.
It looks too weird, and I didn't get what, in that segment that I'd watched, I didn't get what they were doing with the sort of onomatopoeic way that they were dealing with things. So like somebody gets hit into a wall, Batman 1966 style, it goes pow.
Wow, yeah.
But not like the whole screen. It's subtle, but it's fantastic. But I didn't get it at the time, which is why I didn't see it till very late when it was on in the cinema. But you prompted me to watch it.
I did. I pushed you. I did push it. I am gonna admit that I pushed you.
If it wasn't for Jay, I wouldn't have watched this movie. But I went and saw it, and I went into it kind of thinking it would be like a 7 out of 10, something like that. I walked out of it thinking it was not only the greatest movie I've seen this year, it's arguably the greatest movie I've seen in probably 5 years. It
treats every character properly.
It immediately was in my top 5 movies.
He might. The issue I've got here is I would be on your side, but it didn't make me cry. Right, so okay. the only issue you've got to get past me is why me crying for literally 20 minutes of a film isn't worth giving that film my personal vote. Now, you two can gang up on me if you want, but I'm just saying I'm really going to struggle to move because I can't think of the last film I cried at, I'm not going to lie, was Cats and Dogs. But I only cried
really?
because I thought the dog was dead. Like, genuinely, and I was that young. I was like, the dog's dead, oh my God! I've never really cried for the sake of an emotional moment.
But would you rate Cats and Dogs as the greatest movie?
No, but that's my point. I was crying for a different reason. I cried at this, knowing the outcome, that, you know, at the end it pops up, Freddie Mercury will return in Avengers Endgame, or whatever. I knew what was going to happen, but I connected so much, and I felt myself so much in the moment. I found myself looking at his life entirely a different way, and how that Live Aid scene is, which, by the way, people might go, oh, it's not factually accurate. You got to understand, they have to condense a man's life into a film.
2.5 hours.
Yeah, it's only 2 hours. Yeah, 2 hours. They are going to bend time to do it, but they don't. They lie about when stuff happened, but they don't lie about what happened, and it still has the same impact of what happened. So I totally forgive him on that as well.
Well, the 3 remaining members of Queen all loved the movie, if I'm right. I think they all said it was a good movie.
Fuck you, Vicky.
However, Into the Spider-Verse, I watched that movie going, okay, I am a massive Peter Parker fan. I knew a fair bit about
I'm a big Miles Morales
the whole
fan.
Spider-Verse thing. My only issue with Into the Spider-Verse was, if you've not kind of read the Spider-Man comics, it's a little bit more difficult to grasp. But I was in this theatre, and I was probably the only person in that room over 20 who wasn't a father. Like, everyone else was just there with their kids. And I was sat there like, this is a little bit weird.
Oh, where were you? Fucking Kirby Cinema. I've never heard of where.
No, I was just in View Cinema, but everybody.
The only person over 20 who wasn't a father.
I saw it like over.
Sperm donor. Sperm donor.
No, what I mean is everybody else in there who was like, you know, not a kid was there for their children, not there to see it themselves. That's what I mean. And my point was, even though there was lots of rich lore and references to the comic books and references to films that came out before these kids were probably born. I mean, 2003 was Spider-Man, Raimi's Spider-Man was referenced, which came out, you know, probably 10 years before after these kids were born. But every single person walked out of that cinema going, that film was amazing. I've not spoken to a single person who did not think that film was amazing. And the same probably goes for Bohemian Rhapsody. I don't know about your shit. But
yeah, I'm going to discount yours now, Gary, because I've heard. I'm going to discount because no one's talked about your film. I mean, you can say it was the best film of 2018. That's fair, but at the end of the day, opinions are subjective. We totally get that here at Talk Nerdy, and especially at the Nerdies. But
you need to put your input in. Just before we finish off,
right?
I completely know I'm not going to win, by the way.
So then what's the point?
What's the best movie?
Yeah. What's the point?
But yeah, Into the Spider-Verse, it tackled so many issues. It referenced so many things. And actually, I will say this, my cousin made a very good point the other day when I dropped his kid off, actually, after seeing the movie. He pointed out that there are some big names Into the Spider-Verse. You know, there's Nicolas Cage is in it. And I know Nicolas Cage is kind of like the
He was in Teen Titans Go, but no one talks about that.
Well, yeah, but like he was in Into the Spider-Verse, and what they did was they didn't go, okay, we need a big name for Peter Parker, we need a big name for Miles Morales, and then we'll get some other people in for support.
What they
did
names.
was they let some lower end actors who maybe aren't as famous. I mean, I know Nick from New Girl was in it, but I mean, he was a low role in like Jurassic World when he was in that and stuff like that. He's not a massive actor. They had him play Peter Parker, and then Nick Cage is Spider Noir or Noir Spider.
Spider-Man Noir.
Spider-Man Noir. Who was a very obscure character. I would argue most people in that cinema only knew that character from the Spider-Man video game on PlayStation 4. So, we're in a situation where they've gone, okay, let's give some young actors their chance to shine, and fuck me, they did. They really did.
You're borderline pulling me over, but at the same time, I cannot get away from the fact that I went into both films I went into Spider-Man thinking this will be great, and it was great. I went into Bohemian Rhapsody with a slight apprehensiveness, going, this could be crap, and it was great.
See, I was the other way around.
See,
What,
I think
what
this
are people
comes
saying? Is there any?
No one is. I mean,
you're all dead to us.
Adam Dizzy puts it's the best Spider-Man game I never got to play. Vicky McCarthy puts make JB cry again now when he doesn't win. Dizzo puts that it sucks that they took Sacha Baron Cohen out of it because he wants to tell a grittier, more realistic story. He didn't actually want to tell a more gritty. He wanted to have more swearing and more drug references. But I get why they didn't use him, because that's not how Freddie portrayed himself. He was quite an inward person and wanted to, so that everyone can enjoy it, like his work. And but they still
closed it off to kids and
they still reference the drugs in it, but it's so subtle that only if you understand drugs do you get that he's on drugs. If you're a kid, you don't get the reference at all. I think they were clever.
The thing is, I agree with you in that by them doing that, by them making it kid friendly, I've noticed they've exposed Queen to a whole new generation of people.
Yeah, I think it's the right move.
Wouldn't have if they'd made it an 18 movie. Like, Bohemian Rhapsody, I mean, I know it's just Queen's greatest hits again, but it sold more copies than Queen's greatest hits in the year. Because
exactly,
I know that was your point earlier, but my point is, there are people who have gone, all right, okay, I'll go see this, because it's a big movie, watched it, and gone and listened to Queen for maybe the first time. Maybe they've listened to some of their dad's CDs, some of their dad's records, their mum's CDs, whatever, where they've gone, all right, okay, I've heard of this band, but I never really listened to them, and it's exposed them to that in an amazing way, and it's fantastic. And people being exposed to Queen is never a bad thing.
I know.
I also think,
unless it's fucking Rami Malek singing it.
Go on. Final point here, by guys.
I also
final
think,
point.
Unless it's Smile.
Hold on. I'm just gonna call it now. Final point by Gaz.
We don't have a best performance or anything like that on these awards.
No, we don't.
No, we do not.
But Rami Malek, my friend,
is he leaning towards me?
Oh, you're winning this.
Rami Malek.
He picked your movie with his best soundtrack. Of course you're fucking... He's not seen my movie. You've not seen my movie, have you?
No.
Of course you're fucking winning.
Rami Malek.
And it'll be 2 years in a row I've won this.
What?
It might have been 3. I think I win it every year, but go on.
I'm fine with it.
Rami Malek
had
the best performance for me of anyone this year.
Sweet.
So therefore...
Yes!
I'm going to give it... Do it to the Spider-Verse!
Yes! Fuck off! No, you're not.
No, I'm not.
It's...
I'm really not. We're giving it to Queen.
Here we go. Hold on. You take that. Hold on. I am going to write that quite happily on the top there.
Good luck spelling Bohemian Rhapsody.
Bo.
Going off point, but Gaz looks like that rich fella off Gogglebox. Has come on.
Rhapsody.
I've just also
That's
battered.
in some kind of like elfish language. Right. Spider-Man has lost, and the best film. I was really worried someone would say Infinity War because I was going to struggle to argue. I'm so happy no one picked that. The best film of 2018, I am so happy, is Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yes!
Amazing. Hey, oh, no. I am
Oh.
Honestly,
Oh.
I want to thank everyone who's joined in tonight. I know it's like we've dwindled to a few numbers tonight, but at the height of tonight's views and on top of the obvious issue we had at the very beginning, we will do this every year. We love doing it. I mean, Gaz, is this your third year doing it? It's actually really we get a little nervous before we do it, don't we?
I couldn't have enough whiskey.
We get a little nervous because at first we have to like kind of say this stage talk show or whatever, but then we get into it. It's great. Dan, by the way, I really want to. I want to say how happy I am to have you with us tonight
thanks,
because
I appreciate it.
No, I really mean it because it's like I think if I was asked to do it, I think I would go for it, but there would be a nervousness about me about doing it and apprehensiveness. You didn't even blink. I'm not gonna lie. Dan did not even blink at doing this. He just went, yeah, sure. I don't even think he knew what he was doing. He just went, yeah, go on.
I learned the rules 25 minutes.
So I want to award. Hold on. Where's my thing? Hold on. So I want to award. What the fuck is wrong with my cock? Hold on.
Well, the sort of nerdy cock has gone mental here.
The award for best co-hosts
Oh.
goes to Gaz and Dan Morrison. I want to thank you both.
Well, I
There
didn't
you go.
deserve anything.
Honestly, no, I really mean it. Like, I really,
Swifty.
I really get swifty. I really mean it. Like, honestly, guys, if you listen on the podcast, I've just passed them some fine vintage beers that need to be open with a cork. Honestly.